Hello everyone, and welcome. Where am I? I didn't have the other thing open, did I? So, oh, just fine. It's all right. You're down. I did just fine. Okay. So, as I said, hello and welcome. I'm distracting myself for life because of life. You know, that thing that we all have, which is good. But anyway. Forgot what I was going to do. You know, when you just think, oh, I need to do that, and then immediately after you think it, you think you've totally forgot what it is that you're meant to be doing. I just did that. I went to do something, and then the dog distracted us. But anyway, that's just me waffling. How is everyone? I've been out this morning. I went to Roker Park. I've been loads of times, so I didn't film it or anything. I did take more pictures and stuff, but I was freezing. It's like really icy today. There was frost everywhere. It was just proper cold. Even from us in the northeast. As you all know, my mum isn't very well. She's getting a chest infection, and they're still struggling with things. I just gotta hope, I guess. What else is it? But yeah, anyway, I just thought, distract yourself, Lainey. I debated about coming live, and then I've just watched some crappy film on Netflix that, like, to be fair, I wasn't 100% watching it anyway, if I'm truthful. But it was definitely one of them crappy films, you know, that they bring out at this time of year. And I thought, do I want to do another one of them? Or shall I just come and say hello? So I did a last minute decision of coming to say hello. So this is what's happening. I have no clue how it's going to go. But we'll find out. I did debate about doing some quiz stuff from, like, stuff that I've done before. But we'll see. We'll see what you fancy. Yeah. So I'm like, just anything really. All right. So let's see who's here. Hi Nia. Hi Laura. Hi Joy. Hi Sharon. Hi Rebecca. Hi Michelle. Hi Laura. Did I say hi? Hi Mike. Hi Chris. Hi Ian. Hi Tracy. Hi Ali. Hi Kate. Hi Joan. I think I'm at the bottom pretty much. Yeah. Did you see these? So these earrings were in Lex's auction, right? And Kate, Chrissy and Aaron, who is Aaron, who is the QuickBooks guy, they bought them for me. They bid and won, but I didn't know, and they came as a surprise. So these are my surprise, and they're so pretty. I keep trying to catch the light because it really sparkles. Yay. I'm just stop playing now, but they are really pretty, aren't they? Right, back where I was. Where was I? Hi Neil. Have they chosen a president yet? Who knew 2 men in their 70s could make an election last so long? Well, Biden won, hasn't he? Hasn't he? But I don't know what's happening. I haven't read any further with Trump as to what's gone on. You're just cooking your tea. What you having? Having something nice? I know, aren't they? Such so lovely, and like I remember when Lex was showing them and I was like, oh, they're so pretty. I've got Jasper on my bed, whose stomach's going nuts, and I don't know if it's just like because of all the fireworks, and he's been really anxious, and he's like literally lived in my room for days. Don't know why he thinks I'm going to save him, because I'm like, there's nothing I could do for him. I'll just sit here. You save me, Jasper. Oh, you cooking a curry, very nice. What kind? I can only do mild curry. I'm not good with hot, not at all. What are the fireworks for? Bonfire night or Guy Fawkes night or whatever you call it. Basically, for some stupid reason, people here decide that lasts from end of September right through to January, really. Yeah, for some reason. And then people bring them back out in New Year. And we used to, when I was a kid, there was only like two organized events, like in the area. No one bought their own apart from sparklers. That's all people bought, just sparklers. They didn't buy like anything else. That was all it was. And then and then all of a sudden, like I think it was from like the millennium, like when everyone let them off it for the millennium, and that it just went nuts every year now. So yeah. Okay, go back. Hi Antoinette. Hi Junie. A jalfrezi. Is that the tomatoey one? One of them is the jalfrezi, or is it the chicken tikka one? Tikka masala. One of them's tomatoey, I remember. My favourite would be a korma. I'm so naff on her with a curry. Hi Richard. How are you doing? I won't put the link in if when you've had your curry you fancy joining Neil, or if Sharon wants to put me in, or Susan if she's about, or Richard if you want to pop in, or anyone, I'll have a chat. This is like, I did this makeup in like 15 minutes, which is good for me. It's just literally slapped it on my face, and normally I'm up about too much, so it's alright for 15-minute makeup, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going anywhere, like, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, it's the tomatoes in. Thought so. Hi, Stu. Hi, Louie. I know it's funny, isn't it? It's to celebrate the attempted blowing up of the Houses of Parliament a long time ago. That was. You're just having your tea and then you'll pop in a bit. No bother, Sharon. Everyone eats their tea really late on it. Is it just like me? But yeah, President Dump. Who's President Dump? You like Taka masala. It's like tikka masala, but with otter. Jesus, Stu. He was the last bloke that went into Parliament with honest intentions. Yeah, exactly. Something like that anyway. Oh, stretching, Jasper. That is my leg, you know. So yeah, when I went out this morning, like, it was all frosted. The ground was all frosted, and there wasn't many people out. The sun started coming out when I was out, and then, like I said, I took a few pictures, but not as many as I've taken before. And plus, there's like in Roker Park, it's pretty open, so there's only there's 2 swans, and then there's some ducks, and there was a load of seagulls. I took them some mealworm and stuff to feed them. Figured it's like a fair trade for their photographs in it. Finishing up some listings and need to eat since I was up at 4:30 a.m. Ah, you must be tired. Hi, Fauna. But yeah, it was, I'll show you those pictures. I know I'm boring you with my pictures, but just while people are eating their teas, and then so it was James I that ordered everyone to light bonfires because he never got blown up. Oh, well, there's something I didn't know. Right, let's have a look. Can't remember if I put them in a separate file or whatever. I'll have to look on my phone. You're probably sick of seeing my ducks. They're not my ducks, it just sounded good. That. You want to see my ducks? Where am I? Thought I would have showed us on here so I could see what you were seeing. How are you, man? Work? Oh, there. Found it. Work. Oh, didn't need to hear myself. Turn down. This is mad. Right. Where was I? Hi, Caroline. Hi, Gary. Right, I'm just catching up before James VI of Scotland, actually. He was the only James the First. He was only James the First in England. Ah. Right. These are just a few I took today. I didn't do many. Didn't just got them both doing the same pose. She doesn't look impressed, does she? She's like, is that supposed to be impressive? Because it's not. Has anyone seen that picture with it where someone shows an owl's legs and it looks like that as well? And apart from her claws, but because they have the body that goes right down here. You really I don't know if everyone else was shocked, but I was shocked when I first seen it. I was like, oh my god. Never thought that, but still. Thank you, Louie. I think I said this yesterday about loving this colour green. It's like stunning, but it's metallic. It's also like kind of metallic, isn't it? It's weird. I don't know what she spotted, but she was looking at something. I just caught her at the right moment. I wonder if that's water on her belly there, or if it's like her feathers, or a. It is water, isn't it? Yeah. It's not like zooming in. Have a look. I think it is water. Something was interesting. Yeah, it's like iridescent gem, like green, almost like emeralds. Yeah. Neon green reminds me of tropical fish. Neon Tetra. He's keeping one eye on me there. It's like, what are you doing? I love how it shows like the movement in the water. It's pretty cool. The sun was weird. It was behind some clouds. I forgot. I don't know what this is called, but someone might know if it's. You know what I mean? I swear, John, in 2011, I was 12 foot from the guy on the course protest, and one of his henchmen accidentally bust my nose with my elbow. Don't even get me started. Bloody hell. That's terrible. Hi, Patricia. Oh, you just get back from getting a steroid shot and you sciatic nerve is killing you. Oh, I hope it starts to ease. I decided to do it closer. Kind of looks a bit like the moon, doesn't it? Kinda. We have so many gorgeous UK birds with iridescent plumage. Got some gorgeous pics of common male pheasants that looked too like in the autumn sun. Oh, I'd like to see them. I don't know. Do you have Instagram phone? I'll have to have a look. We've got like a wildfowl park, wet and wildfowl. What's it called? Wetlands and wildfowl park thing. I've been once a long time ago, and and the thing was is when I did go, I was probably in my early 20s, and I didn't really like appreciate anything. I didn't appreciate like what I was looking at because I was too messed up with my own mental health that like I didn't appreciate all of it and how much actually everything around us can help you really. So yeah, I'd like to go back there, but they've got otters and everything, and it's just, you know, again, that little bit too far away. What camera do you use? It's a Nikon A900. I'm not really that technical. I'd probably take better pictures if I knew how to work it. Literally, my brother set it, and I just point near him. I need to look more into it. It's just one of them things at the minute. I don't think my brain would compute right now. Oh, you don't have Instagram? Keep meaning to set it up. You'll have to get it set up so I can have a look at your pictures. Thanks. I'll be in 2 hours and shot is kicking in. Just waiting for pharmacy to fill scripts. Oh, I'm pleased it's starting to kick in. She was asleep. She wasn't bothered about me. Do you know what? Like, there was loads of seagulls. The seagulls were like trying to sort of getting, because some of the ducks were standing on the side of the wall, and the seagull was going along just like trying to get them all off, and she wouldn't move. It was like, get on, yeah, just stand your ground. Like the male ones had buggered off, but she was like, nah, and I was here. She wasn't bothered, and there was quite a few. And then she just dozed back off again, so I took a picture of her. Got him and all. Her face. It's amazing, isn't it? Because it's kind of like black round here, and then it goes into this beautiful green, and then sort of back here it looks blue, and sort of bluey. I was going to say a bluey purpley pink, but I don't think that's quite the right terminology, but you know what I mean. And then we'll go back into the black, and then they've got this sort of brown, and it's such a beautiful face. Where are we? Love your pics, Lainey. I like your idea of picking out a few to frame. I think I might just canvas them and like just have like maybe 4, say, in like, you know, in a square type of thing, but like spaced out. Yeah, I know what I'm saying. My brain's just, you know. Thanks, Gary. But yeah, don't know what she was looking at, but she was looking at something. It looks like she's smiling. Do you think? Is it just me? Maybe she was thinking, and I taking my picture. Do you know what I mean? Like just get, I know you're doing it. I got you. Violet's gorgeous pick, Lainey, and the colour of the green and blue is quite iridescent. Iridescent. Get the right word. Yeah, it's such beautiful colours, isn't it? Maybe there was something up because she was looking up as well, so maybe there was something behind us. I just didn't know. Maybe they were just all like laughing or something. He loves the part in the vlog when the rat swam across. Lol. At first I thought, ooh, but then it's all nature. Rat's gotta live somewhere. That's true. There's like boards up there in the park, and it's got be mindful. If you feed in the birds, you feed in the rats. That's what it says on this thing. But the thing is, it's like the birds need it. Like especially this time of year. You know, they were starving in the park the other day. Like when I went, well, I'm saying they were starving. See, it's just seagulls. They just delete everything, wouldn't they? But like when it was the ducks were fighting over what I'd give them, and usually they're not. I've never seen them fight before. Not in the summer months. They've always been quite chilled. But did you see that I saw another rat, Michelle, and the next time I went, this one ran in front of us. I don't know if I'll be able to find the video, but then again, it's unedited. That might not be good. You never know. See, in that other picture, all of this area looked sort of bluish, but now it looks black in this angle. But it's just so pretty. So pretty. Oh, you saw it as well. Before N and Russians, the ducks used to relax on the grass in the mountains in the afternoon. Thankfully, they don't beg for food. I never noticed, but the eyes are brown. Well, his is. It's got brown eyes. It's also look. It looks polished, doesn't it? Looks like someone polished his beak. Oh, before, now. I get you now. Yeah, it looks almost like someone's polished his beak. I think that's the last one. Yeah, or, I've seen quite a few. I need to sort these photos. I've got loads of them, like everywhere. Put ducks in that one, ducks in the other one. It's just stuff everywhere. Right, Myra. Well, yeah, Lenny, I'll canvas my favourite pics I take and resurface every road in the country with them. Well, OneDrive is going nuts now. Taking to putting all the stocks pictures on a USB stick. Ah, right. I need to bring that thing back up, don't I? Just looking at my desktop. Right, it's back in the screen. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Joy. So yeah, them's just some pictures I took today. Like, I keep thinking I need like new places to go, but it's just that sort of awkwardness at the minute because of the weather. One, the change in the weather now, and also it's like it's being a bit more daring again. Like, I'm trying to think, like, because we've got like lakes, there's like the wetland. I'll not get them though. Nah, that's probably too far. Sounds good, but probably too far. Because what that must be like, I think that would probably take an hour and a quarter to get to, I think. And then I haven't, and the other thing is I haven't been that way before, so then there's all that sort of, oh my God, will I be able to get that way? Can I go that way? Will I have a drop down curb? And it ends up freaking us out a bit. But you never know. One day. There is hope. But yeah. Anyway, what was I going to do? Oops. No. There's a million possibilities in one spot alone. You'll never run out of things, Lenny. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, I've gone to the park and got loads of different shots, you know what I mean? And obviously, the town one especially, because obviously that was where I saw the heron, and obviously the mandarin duck that was in Roker Park, and apparently someone had said that the heron had been in Roker Park as well, which is cool. And then I'm forgetting who was saying it, but apparently there's some ducks that may come here in the winter, so I don't know, maybe. There might be different ones. Might be. I mean, I never thought I would see a Harris Hawk, and I seen a Harris Hawk, so yeah. And there's always Pete the Pigeon, if not else. There's always a pigeon. There's always a Pete the Pigeon about. So yeah. Anyway, if there was no restriction, even like thinking hypothetically, if there was no restriction, where's somewhere you want to go? Like, I don't know, like a show, a trip to somewhere. You know what I mean? Like a zoo, a show, like see a comedian, see a band, see to go to a museum. Where is it you would want to go? Like, if there was like, if you had the option, there was no restrictions and money was no object, what would be the first thing you book to go and see? And I'm not talking about like a holiday. I'm just talking about like a trip somewhere, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know. like I said, a zoo, a park, a wildlife place, the pictures, anywhere. I think for me, I'd probably go to the Wetlands Park. I can't even see it. Wetlands Wildlife. Mark, what's that place in Washington that has birds and stuff? And hello, Mark, by the way. Hold on, let's Google it. So I can Google on here. I always forget this thing. Right. Let's have a look. There. That's it, isn't it? Wetlands Trust. Wetland. Like I said, I've been here yonks ago. Yonks. That's the word, isn't it? And I'd love to go back. I mean, well, there's a picture. Nature Reserve, latest signing. Human wildlife. I wonder if it like. Lies on the banks of the Riverway between Newcastle and Sunderland and provides an inspirational example of how sound conservation management allows wildlife to thrive even in the midst of urbanisation. I thought I might have said dragonflies, grey herons. Well, I've seen the herons. Let's just do it as latest wildlife sightings. I don't know. Flamboyant flamingos. I remember flamingos from years ago, but I must have been in my early 20s. Hand feeding ducks. There's a heron. Anyway, yeah, but I would really like to go here again and like experience it and like, you know, properly. I've totally been missing like everybody's thing. Right, 1 second. Let's have a look. Saltholm. You didn't know that was there? It's been there for years, Mark. Like I said, I went when I was a kid. No, I went when I was a. Did I go when I was a kid? I might have. You know what I mean? Because of the Novichok, the ducks and swans had to be killed in Salisbury. The new ducks and swans haven't learnt the old ducks' tricks. Oh. Also, at Saltholm, there's a little hut with a little house in the wall. And I sit on the chair. It's mint. Wow. That's cool. Okay, where was I? So no one come up with anywhere they wanted to go? Did I miss stuff? No, guessing no one came up with it. But yeah, that's somewhere I would like to go. You know, just go there again. And Saltburn Park when I was a kid. Saltwell Park, sorry. Did you go to Saltwell Park, Mark? Do you remember the aeroplane? Maybe you're too young. Honest to God, right? Like, it's funny because you think back now, and there used to be this like huge aeroplane that we used to play on, and you know, the health and safety aspect of it, thinking about it now, is mental. I wonder if I could find it. Saltwell Park is in Gateshead. It was a lovely park. We used to go there, and like I said, there was this aeroplane. Saltwell Airways. We all used to play on it. I remember sitting on the top and like thinking about it now that it's probably quite dangerous. But yeah. It was a different thing then, wasn't it? You find just now what you didn't. Do you fancy going anywhere, Gary? I was going in the movies twice a week before COVID. Yeah. I would like going camping at the Gower? Is that Gower? You would like to go to the top of the pyramids? Yeah, I'm not good with heights, Dave, and high, by the way. But it's weird that because when I was younger, it didn't bother us as much, and I don't know, developed like vertigo or something, and like I could be at the top of a staircase or something, and I'd start going all dizzy and fall. just not good. Hi Susan, you've been listening and lurking, I see. I used to go to Saltwell Park on a dinner time, studied at Gateshead Technical College. Do you remember the aeroplane? Tea cakes. Oh, Dave, I should say. Oh, you just banged your head, Jasper. That wasn't very clever. Oh, you'd like to come and visit me? Well, I'd love to meet you, and you can come anytime. Once COVID's over, apparently. Not allowed as well. Hello, dunno. Are you allowed? Are you on lockdown? You're not allowed to leave? I just like keep going on my battery on my chair. You'd like to go to the boating canals on the boating, go boating on the canals. Get that right, Lenny. Well, as in like the sort of longboat thing where you live in it and that kind of thing, like as a holiday. You want to go to the theatre and watch a show. Have you got any ideas of what shows near? Yeah, whenever that is, exactly. You know, we go to the Highlands every year, but not this year. Going to do that NC 500 or whatever it's called soon, I think. I don't know what the NC 500, what's that? A race? More like a race or something? Are you going in for your prescriptions? No worries, Patricia. Oh, you have a Sharon in a narrowboat. Yeah, I can imagine that being really peaceful. Like, just chilling out. Yeah, the road, the North Coast 500. Ah, yeah, that would be good. Oh, you missed all the boot week, so you couldn't go. You were supposed to see Heather's the musical, but any musical will do. Yeah, hopefully that's possible soon. Oh, you do remember it? The college got knocked down. It's all flats now. Is the park? Yeah, the park's still there. I mean, I haven't been for years, but I know it's still there. Because Karen, the Geordie grandma, she went and did a film of it there, and so obviously I remembered. It's a tour around Scotland, but we have been in most places, but might take a month off work. The only place in Scotland I've been is Dumfries, and that wasn't for very long. It's kind of like in and out. I'd like to go somewhere. You know, like when you see them have like little sort of, I don't know, wooden log houses things, whatever they're called, and they're just situated right next to a river, and there's just loads of trees and stuff around. Just go there, stay there. That'd be nice. It's like ideal place to live. Daryl, was it you who was telling us about some winter ducks that might come over here? I don't know. That I might see. Maybe not. Can't remember. Scotland is beautiful for sure. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, it's like there's so many things you don't even see. Teal, that's it. Teal ducks. I need to look out for them. There's so many things that like you don't even look at without, you know what I mean? Like we're usually all so busy just getting round and doing whatever we need to that we don't pay attention to so much. Like when I came out of the park on, when did I go? In Mowbray. What day was it when I went to Mowbray? I can't remember. When I came into Mowbray Park, I was looking up at something. Oh, the birds, because the birds all flew, and I looked up at the birds, and then I thought, is that an owl? And I was get like an owl in the day kind of thing, because they're nocturnal, aren't they? So I was like, anyway, it was actually a owl statue thing. I took a photo of it. I'll show you, so that'll be easier. But before I do, I'll just read this. Oh, I didn't mean to put that on there. Since money is not object, I'd like to go to Disney World. Yeah, I would like to do that. And I'd like to do Route 66. Imagine doing Route 66 in Robobit. That'd be different. Used to survey around mail depots, so being in most parts severe of the country, but never really got to have a look around places, which is a shame. Yeah, I suppose if you're doing it for work. I used to work about an hour north of Inverness for a few months. Weather's not so clever. No, not really, I suppose. Okay, right. Well, I'll have a look again. I'll tell you what, I'll find where it is first. That'll be easier, won't it? Not there. Right, found it. So if I share screen. Right. There. So this is on top of one of the build. Like there was two of them on top of the building. You don't have to like meant to like scare the pigeons off, but didn't bother him. I didn't notice that before, but look, I don't know if you can see it, but right over there in that corner, there's another pigeon. It's just a little edge showing through. But yeah, I don't know why they're on. There's like two of them on top of the building. So maybe someone else will know. If they're used for a certain reason. Where was I? It's at a real place not long ago, just past Annick. Wow, I haven't been to Annick for years. Big brother, little pigeon. Oh, I'm just getting the. Oh, sorry, Louie. I didn't see you.
It's okay. How are you?
Don't ask that question.
Yeah.
Have you been out today? Have you been buying stuff?
You know me too well. You know my hoarding tendencies.
Hoarding tendencies. Well, I need to stop itching that because it's not good.
Yeah, sometimes it's that scratch is not always the best, but
No, it's my eczema and it's really irritated, but I suppose it's just flared.
you should have your son or somebody help you put a little lotion on it in the back.
I can do it.
I can never reach my back.
It's not on my back, it's there.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So it's just
You're like my daughter. My daughter has eczema too. She has it really bad sometimes on her arms.
Yeah, I get it really bad. I've got it on my arms as well, but this one always irritates, like bra straps and stuff, I suppose. Just
I was going to say things might aggravate it a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Well.
What do you have for tea like?
I'm sorry?
What are you having for your tea or your dinner or?
I'm sorry. I'm kind of still. I'm finishing it up. I'm
Yeah,
eating
I
leftover
don't
pizza.
mind.
I apologize. Time differences. I came home. Well, I got up at like really. For me, it was really early. My time was, but I got like 6 hours of sleep, and I don't know. Something just edged me to get up, and
Yeah.
there was tons and tons of. Well, they had this neighborhood division, this really posh neighborhood, and they had quite a few. It was a neighborhood garage sale, so they're just you make it where you can get to it. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, I was tired. I was like, I'm going home. Took a long nap. Well, my hours are weird. Like some people stay up late.
Some people being this me.
How has your sleeping been?
Well,
on and off.
Really bad. Stress, man, isn't it?
Don't stress.
Well, life is stressful.
Yeah.
At the minute.
We're gonna get you to do some practices, just mindful stuff. Like we were talking about the other day.
You are?
No, I said like we were talking about the other day with some
Yeah,
folks.
yeah, and I can do those, but it's just obviously things are quite extreme at the minute. So
Yeah. I'm sorry.
it's all right.
You have to get your shotgun loaded with rock salt. You ever hear about that? The, the farmers here used to put rock salt in their shotguns, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't hurt anybody. But the kids would cross on the property and cause trouble. And so they wouldn't kill them. They'd put rock salt, and it hurts.
can imagine.
Yeah, yeah, if you get shot in the butt, it's like a welt.
Hi, thrifters. My allergies have been shocking for a few weeks, itchy all over at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just the time of year as well. I don't know.
Hey, Nate. That's Nate, Drifter Thrifters.
Oh,
He's
hi,
our
Neil.
Aussie from down under. I always call he's such a hoot. You should watch his videos. He told me the name of his cow, but I always call it Betsy.
Betsy.
It's not Betsy though; it's something else. But
Did you say cow?
yeah, he always has like cows and mules. He lives out in the rural, like farm area.
Yeah.
And he's a hoot. He's quite a funny guy. He's been on a live with me once. I think he was on. Remember Luis that you met that night?
Uh-huh.
Luis does a Friday live on his channel. I didn't stay up because I was so tired. I usually stay up and try to catch up with the boys. And yeah, I went to sleep. Like I said, woke up extra early.
Hmm.
But Nate was on there last night, I heard.
Sorry, Jasper, I'm not disturbing you.
Tea cakes. I've been to Florida a few times, but always given Mickey Mouse a miss.
Jeremy the cow. Jeremy the cow.
Yes, Jeremy. I jokingly asked him, I said, did you name the cow after a Pearl Jam song? Do you remember Pearl Jam, Lainey?
Yeah, well, I've heard of the band and stuff. I don't really know them much.
There was a song named Jeremy. It was about an abused child.
Hmm. I might know it if I hear it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You get into your rock mode, Lainey.
Yeah.
Rock out.
Right.
So, what's on your agenda for next week? Just
Uh,
sort of the
for
same
next
ritual?
week, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all weather dependent, really, now because,
Yeah.
like I said, it was very frosty this morning, and obviously I don't want to slide about and robo bitch as much as um,
You don't want to go skiing.
yeah, as much as it might look cool,
No. No.
maybe not. Uh,
Looks like you have a few people
oh,
in here.
you what?
I apologize. I had food in my mouth. I said, it looks like you have quite a few people in here.
Yeah, a few people's watching, I think. Oh, Jeremy was sick yesterday. Had too much sugar and apples. Oh, bless him. Poor Jeremy.
Nate told me that his wife works for some company that I don't know if they make like a beer or ale or something. I think it's ale,
Uh huh.
like an apple cider or something. Yeah, that's what it was. I think it was apple cider. And all the squished up leftovers, they save it. And boy, I think they give it to the animals there and they go nuts. Ugh. So have you heard from some of the crew that usually comes in and visits, or they show up later sometimes?
Um,
Just
there's a
depends.
few in the chat. I think a lot of people are listening and
Yeah,
not so much talking, or typing, I should say. um,
which means they're busy doing things. Yeah.
uh, Nate says he's just woke up here and he has 2 kitty cats between his legs, so he can't get up.
Okay. Could be misconstrued, Nate, but we'll take it as it is.
Wait, when we're seeing nothing. If you want to, you have to.
No, I'm going to be a good boy, and I'm not going to say anything bad today.
Yeah, just zip it. That's what I'm doing. Zipping it. Zip it. Cider and apple pie. Jeremy's favourite time of the day. He runs and dances.
He does. Like when I see his videos, Jeremy just comes running.
I'm gonna have to watch.
It's cute. Yeah, because you like animals. You might, you know, just tell Nate to do strictly a video just with animals, and then maybe bring his stuff outside and show his. He does. Sometimes he reviews some of his stuff. He just sells a lot.
How many animals do you have, Nate?
He's got a. Let me think. He's got the donkey.
He's got a donkey.
Cow. It's the cow Jeremy or the donkey Jeremy? I can't remember now. He's got some chickens.
He said the cow was called Jeremy.
I was joking with him about one day because he was on one of our videos, and it's like I think it just got dark, or I don't remember, but he had to go somewhere and he had to walk to his car. And I said, "Watch out for the dingoes," and that's very much a reality around here.
Oh, jeez.
Well, maybe not in his area, but he said there are.
Come for the animals and stuff, do you think?
Yeah, those little shifty characters tend to do that stuff. I'm sure if they can get a chicken, they would. That's our coyotes around here. Don't you have coyotes near you?
Who, us?
Are you too much into the neighborhoods?
No, we don't have anything like that here. Nowhere. There's no coyotes in the UK. As far as I know, they don't believe so.
You have snakes, don't you? Ireland claims not to, but I don't know about the UK.
No, I don't think we do. Not unless people have have lost them. If you know what I mean.
Zoos. Maybe the zoo or some little.
Yeah, or is like a petting zoo or something. But like as far as I know, no. We have like wild deer and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Rabbits.
There was a gentleman named Tesla Picker. He's pretty popular in the reseller world. And his last video, he hit a deer. It was so sad.
Oh, apparently we have adders, but I didn't know that.
What's that?
We have adders.
Oh, okay.
3 types of snakes, only one is venomous.
Oh, yes. Didn't you used to have a TV show called Black Adders?
Yeah, with
It was a long time ago.
Him who plays Mr. Bean, whose name's completely gone out of my head.
Yes. Roy Atkinson?
Yeah, not Roy. Rowan Atkinson.
I was close. I tried.
Yeah. I was like...
We'll just say I was speaking in a Texan accent.
Hi, Myra. You were speaking in a Texan accent.
Your accent, sir. Y'all. There's Sharon. Wasn't she in your chat the other day? Yes.
Yeah, Sharon.
Hello, Buying Space. What is Buying Space's real name again?
Myra. Yes.
No wonder why Buying Space is so nice. It's a she. Usually dudes are like, the hell with you, Louie. Be gone. One guy was giving me a hard time. I just stopped by to say hello in the live, and it was just him and a few other ladies on there, and he's like, oh no, another sausage.
Grass adder and the smooth snake. That's what we have, apparently. I've never seen them in the wild.
Would you want to?
No.
Okay. Then we will just not pretend to hope we see them.
Yeah.
Daryl says, the hell with you, Louie. Thank you, Daryl. Makes me feel right at home.
I've seen...
Into heaven with you. Sorry, go ahead.
I've seen some rats lately.
Well, that's a par for the course during political times, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that part. But I'm talking about like the actual I was going to say I'm talking about actual vermin, but then that
Exactly.
is the same. That is the same, isn't it? Really. Apparently, all the ladies love you, Louie.
Oh Lord, that's such a good sweet lie. I'll take that to heart.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Lainey. What is on your agenda? Like, what is a goal or an aim you would like to accomplish this week, or is there just things that you're trying to, even if it's a, you know, one of those to-do lists things that you don't really want to deal with, but I saw you lifting your shoulder. You're getting a little nervous about that question.
no, I
No, I
don't
mean,
know.
we all have things, we have our shit.
Just getting through it, I suppose.
Yeah. So your cousin had her babies, right?
Yeah.
Baby was a baby.
My cousin, not my cousin, my niece.
Oh, your niece. I'm sorry. And it was
Yeah.
just one baby, not twins or anything.
No, one baby.
A little girl, was it? Was it a little girl?
Little boy.
A little boy. What was the name?
Arthur.
Arthur. I love that.
Arthur William.
You don't hear that name as often. I remember in the 80s it was still there, 70s, but do you remember that actor that played that movie Arthur? A comedian. He's British too. What was his name? Dudley Moore. Dudley Moore.
Yeah, him, Dudley Moore.
He was a funny comedian. Well, some people would disagree. I know, Sharon. I do my best. I do catch on. It just takes me a little while to process it. But I do love my British humor. Ooh, I heard a motor. I found some things today.
So,
some things.
Drifter Thrifters named all these animals, and it's Jeremy the cow, Ellie and Pippa the horses, Dodger, is that tiger, and Franklin the dogs, Connie and Isabella the cats, and 20 or so chickens, plus Ruse in the paddock.
Holy moly!
There's some
The
animals.
Royals, author, popular. Oh yeah, the Royals. Is that the Netflix series? The Drifter you're talking about? I refuse to watch it right now. I just don't even watch TV anymore.
Nah, me either. Well, I watched some crappy film this afternoon. I can't even remember what it was called, and just to try and zone out too. But I
need to do that though. I need to really get into a movie, but then half the time I end up falling asleep by the time it ends. Especially if it drags ass. All right, we have 34 in this chat, and we only have 10 likes. Be lovely. Give lovely Lainey a thumbs up, or stick that thumbs up. The like button. We'll just say that. Come on, Gimbal. I know you forgot.
get tired of saying it's not caught between the moon and Moonlight City. It's Arthur's theme.
The Tudors.
Caught between the moon and Moonlight City. It's crazy, but it's true. That's that song, isn't it?
I used to love that song a lot. Of course, they played it into the ground when you were a kid. Ran that sucker in there. And it was a very interesting singer. Had a very peculiar voice.
Is that him with he had lots of curls, blonde?
Can't remember. I want to say it's. I have so many names, but it's not even the correct name. I know it's not because I just know it's not Chris Christopherson or something like that.
I'm sure Gary will know.
Gary will sneak a Google search. Come on, Gary.
No, Gary knows. Gary knows music. Gary will know.
Gary's pretty smart. Gary
is Google for music.
Oh, Christopher Cross. What did I say? Did I say Christopher Cross? I don't remember. I said something.
Oh, Michelle's good with
Michelle.
Clever stuff as well.
You get a bacon flavored Kit Kat bar.
Yeah, what? A bacon flavour.
I'm sure they make it, or somebody's done something like that. Sounds gross though. Somebody was doing like a product. I wouldn't say a product review. They ordered some from another reseller, and it was Kit Kat. What was the flavor? It was disgusting too. It was like cereal and milk or something like that. So it was
Yeah,
white chocolate. He said it was just so disgustingly sweet. Yeah.
that's weird.
Where'd Gary go?
Stu's back because he had to go and calm 2 cats down after someone let off a noisy firework.
Uh-oh.
I hate fireworks, me. I really do. It's just
Does it
not
bug you?
necessary. Yeah, because not just the effect they have on animals who would just have no clue, and you can't explain it to them. But like pets who have got a home, and then you've got wildlife who are probably terrified, and then you've got elderly people on their own who probably jump in at every one, and people with what is it, PTSD
Yeah.
or stuff like that, where it's going to affect them, and plus they just get into the wrong hands, like people, and they don't treat them properly,
Oh yeah.
it's an explosive, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I
not,
mean, there's always that danger in the neighborhoods. People catch
yeah,
on fire, and just it's annoying. It is annoying.
like when I was young, we used to have like two organized displays. One was on the beach, um, and all the only actual fireworks were whatever was sparklers. Sparklers were the only things that anyone else had,
Yeah,
and no one set off their own. You know what I mean? It was all just done like that. But now it's ridiculous, and it's not. It's from like the beginning of October right through to January, and people just
exactly.
randomly letting them off, and
It's like people trying to kill each other.
Jasper's been in my room and on my bed for the best part of a month already. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the last couple of days have been worse. So, yeah. Um, cheese Kit Kat. Ew, that's minging. Yeah, I think it's Christopher Cross, Chris Cross, who did Jump name themselves after them because it was their mum's favourite song. Really?
What did I do with that for? I almost had a disaster here. I'm sorry. I dropped my.
You've
Dropped
dropped
my plate. Yes, I'm always making a mess around here.
Japan has so many awesome Kit Kats. We tried so many there. Did I make your own in Malaysia? As it was so cheap. Wow. Feel free to pop on, Nate, if you wish. And the links in the chat, or anyone else, if they fancy it. What have you lost, or what are you looking for? No, don't know. Fireworks night in Spain is like nothing you have ever seen. Literally bonkers. I have to scroll down to read the rest. Everyone, including kids, shooting them everywhere. Jeez.
Okay. I found a camera today for really cheap.
What kind of camera?
It was made in Japan. It's a Minolta. I believe it's the model number. Not that well, unless somebody's really a camera aficionado. It's XD11. It's probably from like the 70s or 80s, and it still had a basic lens and a strap around it. It was clean.
Yeah.
And I asked the lady, "How much do you want for that?" Because I went in and bought something earlier, and Oh, I don't know, like $3. But first I asked her, does it work? You know, you always pull that stunt. Kind
Yeah.
of put a doubt in their head. But then again, you know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten burned when I purchase something. And when we get it home and it's like, why did I even bother? But you know, I mean, it's just a fair question. How much do you want? She said $3, you know. I thought she was going to say 5 or 10, which wouldn't have still been pretty good. But I
Yeah.
looked it up, you know, real quick, and I saw the comps were going anywhere from 50 to 125,
All
you know,
right.
depending on what it has. So I was like, yeah, here's $3. Luckily, I listed it already. But I have a car full of stuff. Hello, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Hello, Grant. What are you reselling today? I love this picture. It looks like Ted, that naughty teddy bear movie.
Tis Ted.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's such a raunchy movie, though. In the true sense of the word raunchy. I could not believe the first one I seen.
Mm.
Most people go, yes, and then they laugh and they go, I love it. There's
Hello.
Drifter
All
Thrift.
Am my camera ready? I'm still in bed.
You lazy bum, get up. Have you met Lainey before?
No, we
Nate?
haven't.
No, I haven't. I saw her the other day with the. I want to get the time right. It was
Yeah.
10
When
hours,
she was
12
doing
hours.
12 hour on my.
You did see that, Nate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Well,
you
be
stopped
nice.
by.
No cussing, and treat her like a lady. He's still in bed.
I did that on OBX. His live chat one time, just flippantly, just swore accidentally, and he's like messaged me going, "Yeah, we don't do that on our channel." And it's like,
I was hinting to you too that day. I was like,
I haven't bothered.
I was there that day, Nate, and I was like, Nate, shh, this is family time. And he's a really nice bloke. He really doesn't like. I mean, you know, if it's between two people behind closed doors, he may say a S word or something like that. But he's a good guy. Yeah, I know I probably annoy Laney. I let my truck driver pirate mouth flip off once in a while.
No, I don't. Well, how are some of the things I say?
Oh, the hell with it, Nate.
I just think just be yourself. You know what I mean?
But you know, but not to be vulgar, but just you let
Yeah,
it
I mean, I don't swear a lot or anything, and you know what I mean. But like, occasionally it's necessary. Oh,
look at the kitty cat.
which one's that? Isabella or Connie? Was it?
This is Connie.
Wow, you got a good memory, Laney.
Yeah, mine's so good.
Hey, Connie. She's like, I was sleeping.
Do you mind? Yeah. She's like, do you mind? She says, I'm not camera ready.
Yeah, my Carmen's dog had passed away, and it was the year anniversary of when we lost Bonnie, and we'd also lost my grandmother, Corrie. So that's how Connie got her name. So she's Connie.
Connie.
And she's walking away from me now.
She's probably
How
in a
dare you? I was comfortable between your legs, and now,
yeah,
I don't know where to go. Connie.
Oh, she's not that huffed.
Yeah, right to the camera, aren't you? She's one of those cats that you won't see for 18 hours of the day, and then she'll just decide, I need all the affection in the world right now.
Yeah.
And she won't leave you alone. But she actually crawls under the covers and like cuddles up to Carmen, and that, you know, I'll wake up and she's like hugging the cat fast asleep.
Oh. Lainey loves animals. She takes some wonderful photographs. You have to come in when she does her little slideshow. And she does some fascinating photography. Actually, I've been studying them.
Studying them. So there's not much to study. It's just This is a duck. This is another duck.
Yeah, but sometimes I've noticed you do take some really interesting, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Compositions and whatnot.
Oh, you're getting complicated for me. It's point and shoot.
Well,
And
I can't help that I hang around complicated friends. So. Ta-ta.
complicated.
Yeah, we try to include the odd animals we find along the way in our adventures. I think we went out to, what was it, Gundawindi and St. George, and on that trip we found those kangaroos that were just hanging out in the guy's yard, and there was an echidna crossing the road, and emus in the one trip. So that was sort of good to knock those three off for people to,
Wow.
see some Aussie creatures.
Well, it's wonderful because, I think just in general, humanity, like when we see animals, you're seeing another sentient being, whether you think it has intelligence or not. But, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I love to see people's reactions and fascinations and hobbies such as like photographing or just talking about it or whatever. I think it's just one thing that just pulls us back down to earth. You know what I mean? And gets us out of our head, and we just see something that's like, other than our narcissistic self, we just kind of connect on a different level. And it's like, there's a part of reality, there's a part of the world. And it's what's
No,
that?
trust me, when it's a brown snake or something, it definitely pulls you out of reality very quickly.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, like any fearsome animal, Yeah.
Yeah.
I live, I live in what is a pretty big city, but believe it or not, deer sneak in the neighborhoods once in a while because we have so many little trails and creeks and stuff that, not even a few miles away, then we're back in nature. And it's near my church where I go, it's really beautiful. It's really starting to go back out into the what we call, where I live, it's Central Texas, but it's called the foothills of Texas. They call it the foothills. We have a lot of foothills. And believe it or not, I'm seeing so many unique, peculiar animals, like one that's indigenous to us is the armadillo. You might, like for you, it's the kangaroo, maybe Nate, and you were talking.
So which region of Texas is it again?
Say again?
Which region of Texas are you again?
I'm direct central. They call it Central Texas, just, which is the foothills. And that's dead center.
I did Route 66 across. That's the only part of. But Texas was the first place I ever
that would have been like
life.
the very north. You're kind of almost near the Panhandle, and that's just drainingly boring.
Amarillo. We were stuck in Amarillo for 18 hours.
Yes. Yeah, and there's nothing there, is there?
No. That's what I first learned about the term black ice.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's scary. It's very scary.
But then I lived in Canada for 8 months, so then I heard the term black ice very, very many times.
Where in Canada did you live?
I lived just outside of Toronto in Brampton, Ontario. And then at the end, we moved to Orangeville.
I want to move to Canada. I mean, there's just, I think Toronto's like very international, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it was funny because to get to Toronto or to Brampton, I actually landed in Vancouver, and on purpose, I caught the Greyhound across for 3 days to see the country, to see Canada. But when when I landed in Toronto, I called my girlfriend at the time and I said, geez, there's a lot of Islamic people on the plane. Like, are they tourists here a lot? Do they love, Canada so much and all that? She said, oh, no, they're all heading here. Like they'd all be immigrants. They're all moving. And when I got there, I think that town of Brampton, I think last I checked, it's in the 30 or 40% Muslim. Like that's where they've looked at the map and gone, that's where we want to move. And I remember going to a mall there, and there was 8 gentlemen with like the turbans, like actual, hardcore. Like we don't see that here as much, but there was 8 of them, like sitting all on a chair in a row at the mall, and I thought that's like.
I heard about that in Canada. Their laws are a little different, a little more free. Those are most of the people that were not just migrating, but they were escaping some persecution in certain areas too, I think.
Yeah. And then once one family member sort of gets permission to live in Canada, basically, like, can become an immigrant and all that, then it's a lot easier for the uncles and the cousins and all that to then move. So like I remember driving past so many of the housing estates there. There's like they'll do like 20 in a row of just the exact same house that they're just they're very cheap chipboard, and you see each one slowly progressed as the workers go along each one and all that, and there'll be like 200 of these in an estate where it's just like a 3-bedroom apartment, and it's just they can't build them fast enough for how much immigration they were getting in. It was just insane.
Yeah. Germany, I heard, had the same issue for a while.
I did thrift wells in Canada as well. That was one of my favorite hobbies when because I stopped working towards the end, but my girlfriend did. So that's what I'd go out and do every day. I'd just go thrifting, and I actually sent myself back 3 massive boxes of just awesome stuff that I found along the way.
I remember
that was just.
before.
I was eBaying at the time too, like at the start of the trip and all that, because it's just so much stuff. And actually,
Sharon.
Oh my God!
I heard that
husband's
voice.
so bad.
I think Sharon's here because I could hear her husband.
Yeah, he did that totally on purpose. He's so bad.
What is his name?
Tony.
Say again?
Tony.
Hello, Tony.
He can't hear you. I've got earphones in.
Okay. Shut up, Tony.
Yeah.
Since he can't hear me.
Sharon. Yeah, Sharon.
Hi, Lainey. You okay?
Yeah, trying.
Don't believe her.
No, Lainey's a trooper. She'll be all right.
Yes, she better.
She got all us.
That's right.
And if it takes it, we'll all have a convoy and we'll go to Lainey's house.
Kick her in the boom.
Pardon?
Yeah, what? Kick her in the what?
Kick us in the where?
Drifter's going to bring us. Nate's going to bring us to go see Betsy or whatever the name of the cow was.
Jeremy. I can't remember Jeremy.
I got one friend here.
Lainey, you're going to love Nate. Nate is just so eccentric when he shows his animals. He's amazing.
Aww.
You see, you made Lainey's day. Hello.
Oh, so cute. Hello.
Dodgy. You tell them what you caught the other day, Dodger.
What'd you catch?
Dodger caught an animal the other day.
No.
Caught a what?
Yeah. He caught a kangaroo.
You caught a kangaroo?
A kangaroo? Wow.
Yes, he caught a kangaroo.
A little one?
You've got some...
we couldn't really tell by the size of it at the time.
Wow.
Just Dodger caught and then, digested most of a kangaroo.
He ate it?
Yeah. Yes. He's a sweetheart, but then he's also a predator. He's a very complex doggy.
Oh, dear.
It might have been a sick or a elderly one, maybe. We don't know. But he's also caught foxes.
Okay.
Wow.
He's just licking my hand. Dodgy!
So pretty. How do you put up with Nate, Dodgy?
Oh, he loves me.
Yeah, you feed him kangaroo. How big are the kangaroos, Nate? Are they the little mini ones or are they the larger ones?
Closer to the wallaby sort of size. We don't get the really big, giant, muscly, crazy ones that you see at the zoos. I'd love one of those.
They look like boxers. Don't they? Like proper...
I have to see who else is around. I think the other two are in the laundry ready to be let out because Carmen just went to work about an hour ago. I vaguely remember her kissing me before she left.
Oh. Why would she do that?
Oh.
Hello?
Oh.
It's just tiny.
What are you doing?
I
don't know what you can see, but
Well,
They're wagging their
once
tails.
2 dogs in a laundry basket, and now it's 1.
He's got a zoo in there.
Well, I'll let these guys out, and then we'll see if I can find. Oh, and Dodger's here for some food.
So I have some
Yep.
laundry. Can I bring it over a little later?
No, we're in a drought. We're in a drought here. We can't use much water. We're the
That bad
town
of
in
a drought?
Australia that at the moment is. Our town is infamous for being the town that's run out of water. They still
Wow.
truck it in from our neighbours there's about 6 loads they do a day.
How often?
So-
How many inches per year do you get of rain?
Oh, that's too complex of a question this time of morning, Louie.
Never mind.
Not enough. Like last year we had, because it finally broke around December, I think we had more rain in December than what we did the whole rest of the year.
Don't you have those? What do you call those vessels that collect it? You know. Yep. There you go. You get a few more of those.
We're on a farm, so we don't use the town water ourselves.
Yep.
We've had enough rain, so I think they're pretty much full at the moment, which is good.
It's also good in case your house gets on fire.
Yeah. Oh, we only have a couple of big trees right next to the house, but yeah, we're sort of a bit paranoid after all the fires we had that we've been trimming them a little bit.
Yeah. It's a beautiful deck.
Oh, we want to get it upgraded. It's a bit old, but that's the house painting we did the last couple of weeks with my in-laws.
Okay.
My father-in-law's moved back to Papua New Guinea now to work again. He was meant to be retired, but
Okay.
he's one of those that can't stop working, can't stop doing things.
Yeah.
Because I'm
So,
very good.
Nate,
I can do nothing
Nate.
like a boss.
can I
Yes?
ask you a question? How close are your nearest neighbours?
About 500 meters over that way.
Okay.
I'll go in the backyard and you might be able to see them, but I think the animals might be out of my Wi-Fi range. Oh, there's one. Sorry, I'm just
One what? A neighbor or animal? Or both? Or are you calling your neighbors animals?
Oh yeah, Ellie spotted me.
Oh, there's Ellie. Lainey, pay attention. This is Ellie. You're gonna love it.
Ellie Belly.
She's a horse, isn't she? See, she's a horse.
Ellie
Oh,
Belly and Pippa.
This is chipping you
Oh,
up.
Jeremy's over there lying down.
There she is. Here she comes.
No, you're not getting food. They go on the way. They think they're getting food. I want them to come to the fence, but they're going to outsmart me here, and they're going to go through the gate and then over to me. I'm trying to
They
keep
know
the fence
better.
between them.
Because they have the fence, there's no food. You better
Come
run
over
back
this
in the
way.
house.
No.
You're gonna kick them in the balls for no food.
Well, they don't know their own strength.
Yeah,
And
know
then
what they
Dodgy
say?
will start chasing them.
cooking people.
What's the saying? Never work with children and animals?
He was hanging out with his mate yesterday, Rocky. Rocky's has an electric collar, but it ran out of battery, so he shot over here yesterday for a couple of hours. But the neighbours have got literally the exact same Kelpie, but a little bit younger.
So Sharon, did you know that Nate is in the future? So he can tell us.
Which?
Oh,
Pippa's the brown one, and Ellie's the white one.
there's our babies.
I don't want to go too far, or else my Wi-Fi will disappear very quickly. You guys want to say hello, or are you going to stop there?
So stop me, thanks.
Yeah, but we're fine just you. Thank you very much.
Oh, Jeremy's stirring up there, if you can see him.
Not really. Is he right beside the tree?
Oh,
He's hiding behind a rock.
Ah.
Hey,
Look how
Pippa.
pretty.
No, Dodger, you behave. Not very pretty when you see a horse's ass.
Well, we used to catch bums with
duck's bums.
I love it. The dog was ready to hurt him.
Can you see the chickens over there?
Yeah.
I could hear them.
Yeah, as soon as I as soon as you walk anywhere near there, Dodger just sits there and just stares at them like they're Meals on Wheels. Like,
Have you ever had any problem with Dodger?
When one has gotten out, yes, he's caught them, but he doesn't know what to do with them.
Okay.
He doesn't eat them. He just, like he has killed one, but then he's like, what do I do? What do I do? So the chickens are dumb enough. They escape sometimes. They squeeze their way through and all that. And it's like, really? Like,
yeah.
That's not a wise choice we're making. Come on, Jeremy. Everyone wants to meet you. He's just like staring at me behind this rock, like.
He knows what you're up to, Nate.
He's on to you.
That's the neighbours up there.
Okay.
All right.
You can see any
How
sort
are
of.
your neighbors? Are they nosy neighbors? Are they helpful neighbors?
No, they very much keep to themselves. We see them. Maybe we'll speak once every 3 months or so, unless something, like especially when Rocky the other week. Oh, sorry, it's getting very windy now. Rocky the other week when they first tried the electrical thing around his neck, he came tearing down to our house, and like the thing was zapping him the whole time. The poor guy.
Was
and
it a dog?
Like, we were actually, Rocky the dog.
I thought it was Paul.
We were filming a what we bought video right at that time, and then Rocky just comes. You can hear the beep. You can hear the beep of his collar as he's slowly approaching, and then he just launches
on
onto
high
Carmen's
blast, probably burning his ass.
Yeah,
poor thing.
So he's a bit fearful of his owners, but he absolutely loves us. So that's like he basically
did he take
ran
the
out.
Collar off?
Carmen did eventually, but was zapping the crap out of her the whole time.
Oh,
that's not funny. Oh,
yeah, that's not good.
Like them things.
No, they're not.
How old are these neighbors?
It's not good if you have to teach your animal via fear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it hasn't worked because he's had it on for a couple of weeks now. And the second that it ran out of batteries, he came straight here. So he hasn't learnt a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have my morning coffee.
Morning coffee. Don't do coffee. That's disgusting. I like tea.
That's interesting, Junie. I just read what you wrote.
English review.
Night, Junie.
Good night, Junie. Nate, say good night to Junie.
Night, Junie.
Good night, Junie. Good night, Junie. Sorry, I can't see the chat.
That's what I was helping.
Jeremy still hasn't moved up there. I think because the other day Carmen had 2 buckets of the slops, we call it, the apples and all that, the drip off from the apple pie.
Right.
And they also dropped a bag of sugar. Oh no, it was the big sugar bag was there on the floor, and the delivery guy hit it with his pallet thing or whatever they call it, And so the sugar was dumped into the bucket for him as well. So Jeremy lapped that up like there's no tomorrow, and now he's been feeling a bit sick for a couple of days.
Oh, I would have. Yeah, next time, just don't give it all at once. No.
No, that was a bad call. He's like you got to think of having a cow as like having a 3-year-old.
Yeah. How are you doing, Sharon?
I'm okay. Just coming out of our lockdown.
Yeah.
Our firebreaker lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pardon, lady?
Setting everybody.
Yeah, and you're just going into yours, yeah. Well, life's been pretty much the same as what is. The hubby goes to work, I do my thing.
Yeah.
There's other people out and about.
But it's just more of attention on just be extra careful.
I can't believe everyone in the US is sort of a bit worried that, Joe's going to lock us down and all that. A friend of mine messaged me yesterday. There's I think 130,000 active cases in the US at the moment. It's like, it hasn't gone away. It's worse than ever right now. But everyone's sort of acting like, let's just go back to normal life.
Yeah.
It's just funny to watch the news here. They'll just go, well, there's been some congregations. And then, by the way, in that specific area, 20 more people are dying. It's just, they don't bloody get it.
Oh, it's like
I don't
Joe's going
think
to be
anybody
taking out a
gets
country
it.
that's basically at war. Like there's more deaths now than what there is like per day. Like if America was actually overseas at war, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm moving away from the coffee machine. It's a bit noisy. As when I was working full time, that was one of the things that I wanted was a coffee machine that you could just hit one button and you got coffee.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to sit there and
using the
rock
French
or anything
press.
like that. I want to just bloop, one button and you get a coffee.
I found when I was sourcing, Nate, I went to like one of these Goodwill places where they have the bins. It was a brand new box, and I opened it. It was one of those French presses, and it was a good quality one. It was glass, not plastic or anything. And I don't know, something about the using those pods I didn't really care for. Everybody's like, well, it's so easy and it's convenient. And I'm like, no, so I enjoy the French press. I make a nice hot pot of water in the morning, pour it on the coffee.
I'm looking for it right now.
What are you doing?
I was going to show you, but I can't even actually see any here. We must be nearly out. But no, this one is actually proper beans and everything. It's not one of those crappy pod things. We have them in the caravan, but not. This is a proper, it grinds it all up and then instantly makes you a coffee.
Nate, a question again, totally left field, nothing to do with coffee grinders. What is the most scariest creature you've come across that's actually made you sort of have to change your trousers?
When you first met me.
Wait a second.
Apart from meeting Louie. Sorry?
Probably the worst. Up where Jeremy is right now, and we're actually there yesterday because Carmen bought us a new arch for the nice wildflowers we have up there. But we're moving rocks. Like I was flipping big rocks over to move. And it was middle of winter, so I wasn't even thinking of it. And Carmen's like, be careful, there might be snakes under there. And me being a guy went, I think there's going to be a snake under there. And then right in the middle of the sentence, I flip over a rock and there's a red-bellied black snake. And
tell us about the red-bellied black snake, because that's not indigenous to us. So what is it like?
It's probably, I think it's in the, like we've got, 11 of the top 12 dangerous snakes in the world live in Australia.
Okay.
And for us in our region, the big two are the western browns, which the brown snakes, like there's a lot of anti-venoms and all that, so it'd be pretty bad if they killed you. Like if you can get to a hospital, you'll be all right. Problem with the brown snakes is they come in like about 50 different forms, so they're very hard to identify.
Okay.
And the red belly is the only other one that's sort of native to our area, and they're more of like a not an instant kill, but they're unless you can get your ass your bum, unless you get your bum to hospital very quickly, you're not going to be in a good way.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty scary. And that was the one you found.
Yeah, that was a red belly black, and then of course we've got the two little doggies with us, so they instantly go, "Oh, what's that?" So we're having to go close to the snake to pick up Franklin and Tiger.
And I heard the smaller they are, the more venom. So yeah.
Yeah, that's you find the babies, and you think, "Oh no, it's just a baby snake." But yeah, that can be worse.
You wear boots?
What you doing, Dodgy? What you doing? Have you heard the story of Dodger's name? He's
Dodger's name.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and Franklin's next door with the sheep. We went to Texas with my mother. It was the second last time that she was here, unfortunately. And we went to Texas just for a day trip to do some thrifting and go have a meal at the pub and all that. And there was a sign up that these people were giving away 3 Kelpies. And we thought, we'll have a look. So they brought Dodger into town because they were a bit out of town and all that. My mother was furious that we were even thinking about getting another dog, but we're a farm. We have animals. And we found out that Dodger was about 3 days away from being put down because he was excess to their needs. So at the time, his name was Badger, which there's an actor or ex-footballer here called the Honey Badger. So we didn't want a dog that it all sounded like that. So I thought, we'll name it something that sounds similar. But so I think it was Baxter, and then we thought Dodger. So that's how he got his name, because he dodged the bullet.
I was going to say, yeah.
But now it just suits him, because that's all he does is just dodge every time he's in trouble.
You got him in the U.S.?
No, Texas is a town about 50 minutes west of us.
Oh, okay.
We've already done that video where we're telling everyone we're going to Texas, woo! And then we get there.
You could have fooled me.
We like to have fun with the town names, like the one from last week where, you know, like, we're on a trip, we're headed to the casino, and Carmen's like, no, we're going to casino. Yeah, the casino. No. To casino. The town was casino that we went to.
It's not the in front of the town.
Yeah, we try to have a little bit of fun with our, we do like the dad jokes and all that, just for,
Fun.
just for fun. We're in our 40s.
Corny. You're so, Nate is so corny. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, have a guess who I just saw?
Uh-oh.
Jeremy.
Someone's woken up. Jeremy.
There's
Everyone
Jeremy.
wants to see you, Jeremy.
Jeremy's like,
he's
leave me
walking
the
away.
hell alone. Can you blame him?
Jeremy.
Doesn't want an enema again.
Oh, if I had like a bag of carrots or something with me, he wouldn't be going that way. No, that grass there, I don't know if you can see it very well. That grass there is extra green, because that's where our what would you call it? Our sewage system. That's where the drainage fields are. So the green's extra green. The grass is extra green over there. So that's their favourite spot.
I can imagine.
Well, that's a bit rude of him. He's just gone straight to the front paddock now, like no.
Are you going to be on for a little while, Lainey?
I don't know. See how it goes.
Okay. I'm going to have to pop off here for a minute. I'm going to make some phone calls.
All right, no worries.
Sharon, take care. Nate, I'm popping out of here.
Okay.
All right.
I'll speak to you soon, Louie.
I'll hang around for a bit and annoy these guys.
Louie.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Susan saying that she likes telling her Boston friend who's a USA Boston friend that her granddad is from Boston, but she means Boston, Lincolnshire, which is the original Boston.
We went to an op shop the other day, or do you guys call them charity stores, don't you? In
Charity
the
shop,
UK?
yeah.
And we're building a new storage area and all that, so we've been half looking for totes, containers, and all that. And this place had $2 for. I think there's only one lid in there, but when you're putting them on shelves, it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it was like a whole pile of them for $2 each, and it was like, yes. I put that on Instagram as that's a reseller's favorite thing of when you find cheap storage.
Like extra packaging and stuff as well. Like when you get packaging, they're like, yes, we've got packaging.
Yeah, there were resellers drooling all over the country.
Yeah. So what started you into? I was just going to say, what started you into the reselling thing? Did you hear us, Nate? Don't know if you heard us.
No, I keep missing the start of your sentence.
What started you off in reselling? Why did you start reselling?
Interesting question, because someone talking about that in the chat the other day on another channel about origins and all that of what why do you resell basically, and I sort of remembered that when my mother and father they separated when I was like I think 16, and my mother actually started shacking up with my dad's ex-best friend, which that's probably not the greatest thing in the world, but that's what happened. And he owned two pawn shops. Plus, he would go to the market. He'd go to the markets every Sunday and sell. So obviously that, I think, was a very big influence on me of, the buying and selling, and
Yeah. The
you know,
buzz.
and I think probably fast forward nearly a decade later, and I remember I was going back to university to do teaching, and I'd also gotten into eBay myself. Like I was buying stuff at secondhand stores and then selling it, and then I just started making more and more money doing this. And I'm like, I think after about 3 weeks into the university semester, when you have you're basically in Australia, you get like 2 or 3 weeks for free. And then once you get past a certain date, that's when you're committed to doing the course. And it got to that day, and I'm like, I'm enjoying this, going around and buying stuff and reselling it. So I just went, no, I'm going to give this a crack. And this was this is in the midst of my divorce from my first wife. So, and I was living at my grandmother's, and I was like, well, I've got an opportunity here. I don't have many bills and all that. I can try something different. So that's how I got into the full-time eBaying back in the day.
You got you got the bug. I mean,
it was a funny.
I was just about to say that I used to resell before. I don't do it now. Haven't done it for a long time, so I just get me buzz from watching everybody else now instead. But there's still that thing, that buzz of knowing that you can make more money on it, and just the fact that it's getting reused, because a lot of people just fling out things once they've got no use for it, it becomes it's not worth anything anymore, and it's such a sad throwaway culture, really, isn't it? That we're living in.
That's what I was actually I was talking about it in a chat a couple of days back of like trying to sort of give us a higher meaning, a higher purpose, and basically saying that as resellers and all that, we take something from an area where it's not appreciated, make it available to the world, and the person who wants it the most, get it from us. So it gets moved from somewhere where it's not wanted, with a vessel. I'm not one of those preachy type people and all that, but with a vessel, it gets it from where it's not wanted to where it is wanted. So it's
exactly.
I found 50 cents that someone paid $150 for. So it's but that person really wanted it, and they're not going to scale. They're not going to go to a country town in the middle of Queensland to find it. They need someone like me to go to these crazy places and find this thing just sitting there for them.
I was going to say, I think it's a good thing, the whole reseller thing, that it's keeping things out of landfills. There's, as you said yourself, we're such a throwaway culture. I do think it's a really good idea. Again, plastic just stays around forever, and why not? Why not use something that someone's only used for however long?
Yeah, we've been there all ourselves and all that. Like if it's a certain movie that you go, okay, I want to grab that. So then you look on eBay, and it's like, oh yeah, there's like 10 sellers selling it for $30 each or around there. Oh look, $15 used, done. So a lot of the time we're that person as well. That one that's you come in the cheapest, you come in as the only used one and all that, and someone can all of a sudden that couldn't justify the expense previously can now be like, oh, there we go, this person's selling it at a good price, so now I can get that thing that I really want.
Can I just say, Lainey, can you sort your friend out, please?
I've seen it. we have a debate going. What are your views on pineapple on a pizza?
Love it.
Oh no, Nate! No, it's wrong.
But see, pineapple's just the start for me. Like my absolute favorite when I make pizza is chicken and mango.
What?
Why? See, no, mango is one step too far.
It's like
no. We're only halfway through the journey here, okay, people. We're only halfway through the journey. If you want to get a little bit more experimental with your mango and chicken pizza, I actually put a little bit of mango pulp into the base, and make it so the base is also mango flavored. If you want to make it a little bit nicer, you actually do a chocolate swirl.
What?
So chicken and mango with mango in the base, and a nice chocolate swirl.
Oh my god!
Okay.
But occasionally,
that
if I
puts
can't,
the
if we don't have
pineapple out on
chicken,
its own.
yeah, if mangoes aren't in season, I actually go for the chicken and banana pizza.
Oh no.
God.
Now you're just making stuff up.
No,
Do you put?
chicken and mango is like the best pizza in the world. Like there is some pizzerias in Australia where you can find it. Like it is a known thing.
I bet you put mayonnaise on your cheesecake or something, do you?
No, just with French fries like you guys do.
Oh, Megan, we have this debate, and like there's like quite a few people in the chat that like pineapple on a pizza, and I'm like, no, you just don't do fruit on a pizza. I'm like, you know what I mean? But like, you just exceeded that level, you know what I
Well,
mean?
my wife shocked that I have banana sandwiches, and she thinks that's the
Yeah,
oddest thing
I like
imaginable.
banana sandwiches. I have it in like wholemeal bread, and I really like banana sandwich. But like on a pizza, especially if you like tomato sauce, like the tomato sauce.
But I like to make, like, especially when you go to mainstream pizza places here, it sort of doesn't, like, because we went to an all-you-can-eat pizza in New Zealand, and literally like all 8 pizzas tasted exactly the same because it was just, it was different versions of Meat Lovers and Supreme and all that. But then as soon as you throw on that awesome pineapple, then it's that stands out. But then I talked to a few other people about like the Aussie hamburger. Like people are absolutely shocked by what we put on our burgers.
Okay,
Like, especially Americans.
go on then.
You know what an Aussie burger is, right?
No.
So you got your standard burger fixings and all that,
Like
and then you add on. No, you can make it a kangaroo steak if you want, or a kangaroo patty. I actually made these for my friends when I was in Indiana, but it was really hard to find all the ingredients, so I had to use a tin can to make the fried egg. So you have to make it into like an egg ring we have here. So you make it into a nice circle. And you put egg on your burger. Right. The can that I used was from beetroot, or beets as Americans call them, but it's sliced beetroot.
Yeah.
So that's wait, I just realised I've got let's have a look here. I ate one of these yesterday for one of my friends and filmed it. Oh, it's all caught on this stuff here. Whole baby beets.
I have like fresh beetroot and like.
But you got to use sliced beetroot for your Aussie burger. But beetroot, Australians love it. We put it in salads and all that. Then bacon, which isn't too big of a shock. You put bacon on it, and then a pineapple ring.
Too far. You went too far. I could eat it. Yeah, I could eat it with beetroot on because I like beetroot, but the pineapple, nah.
You make it for people of varying countries, and then you watch to see which part they eliminate, which part is a bridge too far. Yeah. Some people, Americans, it's the beetroot, like, nah, can't do it. Because it's funny, I went to a big giant Walmart in Indiana, and I searched everywhere, and like the bottom left corner of the tinned vegetables, there's like one little aisle of canned beetroot. Yeah. Whereas in Australia, it's like a whole bay is beetroot.
Oh, and look, like, I really do love beetroot, and I could just sit and eat it on its own. Do you know what I mean?
Americans love sauerkraut, and they won't eat beetroot. Like, I do not understand that. Like sauerkraut, they just think, oh yeah, that's like, it's like vile, vinegary cabbage. But then beetroot, you think, is this terrible thing, and it's like, you get sliced beetroot and all that. It's sweet and delicious. Like, you got it ass backwards. You got it backwards there. like yeah.
I'm guessing you probably won't have. We have something called black pudding.
Blood sausage.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's not something I taste, but then because Carmen doesn't like those sort of things. But then also like the blue cheeses, like the Stiltons and all that. She's not a big fan of those. Whereas I'm a stinky cheese fanatic.
Stinky cheese.
That's what I like. The supermarkets mark it down. Like this cheese is near date, so they mark it down to like half price and all that. And that's when we grab it up because that's when it's at its best. Like you're giving it. It's like giving away food, like or selling food cheap when it's at at its ripest, when it's ready to go. It's like you're selling it when it's not. It's not like milk. Like if milk's got only a day or two left, then it's only got a day or two left. Whereas if cheese has got like a week left, then that's prime eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only realised that Sharon's gone on mute, so she must be busy
No,
somewhere.
I think her husband's playing on a game in the same room as her, so she keeps muting it in case he's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to do meetings for a sport, and I was one of those that I'd always be on mute because I just didn't want to be the one to the microphone starts annoying everyone.
Usually my son's on a game, but he's gone to bed early. Well, early for him, anyway. But he'd just be shouting out something that can't work out what it is, but it's probably a swear word. Well, I mean, he's old enough. He's 27. But yeah. No,
I'm just trying to think what I'll do for my day, but I think I might have started taking my death pile from the trip that I posted up a video of part 3 of our trip. So probably once I get working today, I'll start attacking the death piles in here of.
Oh,
this
wow.
is our Depop photography room. So
I see. Did you do Depop and eBay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got a night. This is all the good stuff we got from the trip, but I keep forgetting that I've got to film a clip with Carmen, sort of just showing off the highlights of the trip. So these are mainly like I love finding sports jerseys and all that that's my favorite thing to find, especially like local. We go to small towns and all that, and they have their own footy jerseys. I love finding that stuff. Like this one.
So is that like the Aussie rules football, or is that what it is? Aussie rules football?
No, this will be rugby league.
Oh,
Super
like
League.
right.
Nowadays. Yeah, that's in our state. Rugby league is the king.
Yeah. But it's like football for us. Well, do you call it soccer? Or you call it football?
Soccer.
Soccer. Yeah.
Well, at the moment, we're actually our rugby league season ended about 2 weeks ago now, and normally I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's called State of Origin in Australia, where our state, Queensland, plays New South Wales. It's been going since 1980. And I know Americans that love their football and all that, then they'll see one Origin game and just be like, oh my God, that's like crazy intense. Like it doesn't they can play 100 times and 99 times it'll be within one score. Like they're always tight, these games.
Yeah.
And that currently, because they normally have it in the middle of the season and sort of have some bye weeks and all that, they couldn't have it during the season. So we've got at the moment with 3 Wednesday nights in a row, they're going to have all 3 games. So we're right in the middle of that at the moment. So, and Queensland, we had a whole lot of injuries and other issues and all that. So they picked a team that, everyone's like, oh, they're going to get killed because they've lost 2 in a row. So this might be their 3rd series in a row. They're going to lose. And this team went out there and they beat New South Wales last Wednesday in the first game. So that's Queenslanders are known as that we're sort of every time they count us out is when we somehow pull out the win.
Yeah.
But we did have a good period. We had a whole lot of superstars for a while there, and we actually won 8 series in a row. And then New South Wales won 1, and then we won 3 again. So we won 11 out of 12. So that was a very, very that was a good period.
Really good.
So I've currently got a State of Origin sale in my Depop store of all the Origin stuff that I was, A because people are interested in it, and B because it should sell right now because people should be wanting.
Because of what's happening. Yeah,
especially when my jerseys are like $30 to $40, whereas if you go into a sports store to buy the current one, it's like $130, $140.
Madness, isn't it? The money in sport is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I know some of the football players over here, like the soccer players that you'd call, but they're on like £140,000 a week, which is like madness.
Oh, just even the transfer fees and all that over there is just insane. When the players swap teams and all that is just ridiculous money.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think UK sports are similar to ours, though. Like, if a player is transferred to a team, they instantly go, correct?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's a good thing. And same in the US, if a player gets traded, they go, or if they sign with another team, they go.
yeah.
Our system, guys will be playing, like, we've got half our roster at the moment for my football team. They're signed to other clubs next season, but they're playing for us now, and I think that's just so
But then they
silly.
don't have the same. Like we can't sell players throughout the whole season though. We have twice a year, so like at the start, the transfer window will open, and it ends. I think is it 2 weeks into the season or the first week into the season? I'm not sure. I can't think. And then in halfway through the season, we have another one in like January time. And again, you can only sort of change players in those times, and obviously it's done instantly. But
yeah, ours though, we signed up for, like, he's going to the Cowboys next year for 3 seasons, and it's like,
yeah,
I like, send them right away then, or don't let them sign new contracts until, like, there's like 5 months after the season ends. Do your contracts then. Don't sign for another team while you're playing, like, because then, like, coaches could be, the players themselves, they could take it easy.
Exactly.
But then at the same time, the coaches could wear them into the ground if they want. You're injured. Sorry, mate. Get back in there, because we don't care about you anymore because you've left.
Yeah.
So, but then I think the same, the US presidency, like,
you know what I mean? Because they've signed for someone else. Are they going to be given a whole thing anyway? Because they're not going to be part of that team.
But I think the same with the US presidency. Like any other country, as soon as a new leader is elected, the other guy disappears and the other person takes over immediately. Yeah. Whereas the US, there's like this window of like 2 months, and like old Donald's sort of basically talking like he's going to salt the earth here, like he's going to just blow. He's going to create
the White House because
like someone gets voted out, you should, it's like Big Brother, like they're off, you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but he's in power for another 2 months, even though he's not elected. I don't understand that system at all.
And all it's going to be is it was rigged, it was fake, it was fraud, it was this, it was that. I mean, in the same sentence, he said that he went. This was before it was done. He was like saying that he'd won it, and then in the next breath saying there was fraud postal votes. You know
it's
what I mean?
Like people can love him or hate him. I get that. Like, I see a lot of people that love him, and for whatever reason, sure, that's your prerogative that you think he's a great leader and all that. But the single act of actually saying, stop counting the votes where I'm leading, but keep counting where I'm losing. That to me is just like, how can you have respect for someone who's basically saying, he's saying, help me cheat to win the election here, and people like, oh yeah, but that's because there's voter fraud in the places where he's not leading. It's like, oh, like that alone, I'm just like, that's the final straw, mate. You've got to go. You've really got to go, because like Joe's got more votes than what anyone else in history has ever gotten, which is crazy on its own. But and not saying that he's the great white knight, like I don't think he's the best option there is, but he's the only option they've got.
It's like,
then it's like Americans in the healthcare system, like you being in the UK and all that. What's it, the CI? No, it's 3 letters. I can't think of what it is.
NHS.
Yeah, like I've got so many American friends through disc golf that they come over here to Australia and they'll hurt their knee or cut their finger or something, and they're like, I went to the emergency place. I waited there for an hour or 2. They patched me up and I went home and there was no bill. It's like, that's what healthcare is. It's not a scary thing, America. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, you might have to, like, for elective surgery, you might, like, I had to get my nasal cavities all cleared up and everything, and I was on the wait list for 5 months, but I wasn't going to die. Like, it was uncomfortable, but like, yes, and if I wanted to pay money, I could immediately have it done privately if I wanted to. So we still have that option,
Yeah.
So, like this big bad, socialism and this fear of, people having to pay other people's bills and all that. That's what nice countries do. We look after, and that's, I think, I talk to a lot of resellers and all that. Like you see, Lonnie, his missus, Matt, the part-time picker himself. There's a few like that they keep their jobs, not like the money's a good thing, obviously, and they might like the career they do, but it's also because healthcare. They need to stay in the job because they have to have healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's a really big, when an American says I'm going full time, it's like, it's a big deal because they're cutting strings to something very, very important. That, like my friend in America, he lives in Michigan, Kalamazoo. That's where he showed me disc golf for the first time. He had an ice skating incident and actually had a blade slice right across his leg. And he's a young guy, not much money, not healthcare and all that. So he literally super glued it up, wrapped it up in electrical tape, and just didn't look at it for a couple of months and just hoped that it went away.
Wow.
Like, dude, that's just. But then they worry that they think that we're under a dictatorship because Australians aren't allowed guns as much. Like we're under the thumb of the government.
Same.
Mm.
The whole gun thing is really weird.
Mm.
We don't have any issues with them. You know what I mean? That's the thing, and they do, and that's because you want out where you're shopping, kind of thing.
Like I'll see pictures of people and they'll be like, "Okay, I'm just getting ready to go out," and it'll be their wallet, their keys, their phone, and their gun to go to the shops. And it's that's not freedom. I'm sorry, if you have to carry, if you feel you have to carry a gun to go to the mall, that's not. You think of that as freedom. I think of that as the opposite of freedom. I
think the weird thing for me is the fear of going out and getting shot. Not that it's not a thing here, but
no,
that's such an alien notion. Like you can, I just walk wherever or do whatever, and I don't think someone's going to shoot me or there's going to be some gangs drive-by shootings. It's just not in our reality, not at all.
And that's I talk to American friends and all that, and I try to explain to them too that guns just aren't in our conversation. No. They're just not a thing. Whereas to them, like gods and guns are like their two biggest, most important things in their lives. Whereas guns just aren't they aren't a thing in our lives. We don't even. Whereas for them, it's like such an important thing. Like you see eBay usernames where it's a Glock fan and things like that. Like guns is like this thing that they're passionate about and they love, and it's like I'm sorry, there's nothing to love there. They're they're just not. Then we don't want to. Like we're on a farm. We have animals. I can easily go get a gun license if I want to. Yeah. And have guns here. Like I'm not restricted in any way. So it's not like I'm someone who I dislike guns because I can't have them. It's like I can have them if I want. But then my wife and I, she had a car accident a decade ago, and I've got my own personal issues and all that I don't want guns sitting there, because if you have guns, you're most likely to use them on yourself or family members. That's the reality of it. So I'd rather just that not in your darkest day to have something sitting there that oh, well, there we go. That's easy enough. I can just, be gone. So I'd rather just not have them in my vicinity. And I think, in America, more toddlers get, killed. No, toddlers kill people. Toddlers kill adults more than what terrorists do.
And children kill children, finding guns in the closet or in the drawer or
in their mum's bag.
Yeah.
Like mum getting shot. Getting shot through the back of the car seat because the kids found the gun in the that's.
Yeah, in the purse. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's we don't have them here, and we had to have a cow put down a couple of years back, so we had to call someone in. To bring their gun to get this poor animal put down, because it's just does anyone know anyone that has a gun? It's a hard thing to find.
Ian's saying there's no issue with guns. I worked with them for 20 years of my life. It's the people that have them that's the issue. Yeah, but it's the fact that anyone's allowed to have one that's the issue. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like you're not limiting that to say like the police or the army or whatever. You know, someone can just go.
No, it's like you'll see videos on YouTube, and it'll be like, you know, a 10-year-old girl with a nice bright pink gun that she got for her birthday, and she's there practicing shooting, and all the Americans are like, oh, she's got good trigger control. Oh, yep, she's got a good stance there and all that. And everyone else from other countries in the world are going, oh my God, it's a 10-year-old with a pink gun.
Yeah.
Like we just see it so differently to what they do. Like they think that it's
True.
You know, it's a good thing to teach your kids, and you know, to make sure that they're
all of them are the same. Do you know what I mean? Not obviously.
Oh,
a lot.
I'd never lump them all together. I'm sure there's plenty of
Yeah. It's like it's that sort of thing, isn't it? It's just if there was a law against it, then it would make a massive difference to what happens in the country.
Mm.
It's
just they see it as there's so many of them that there's no solution. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely a different mindset and different mentality. I'd be horrified if one of my kids said they'd even seen a gun. I'd be horrified.
Same.
No, we had a foster child here, and she was talking about that she had to take a knife to school, and that was just like. And I said to her bluntly, I said, you know who gets stabbed the most? People who carry knives. Like,
yeah, that is a problem we've got here in Britain. Is the knife crime is insanely high the last few years. It's just rising.
If you have one, like don't introduce it. Don't have one yourself, and then there's less dramas.
Yeah, that's the message. But again, kids on the street, they don't listen to that. They're like, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to carry a knife. You know, again, especially in Britain, in the cities, in the States, there's postcode wars. There's, you know, you live on the wrong side of the street, you're going to get stabbed up just because you live on the other side of the street.
It's a gang notion, isn't it?
Yeah, I watched a documentary the other day about it was. You probably know way more than me, but I think it was like a 12-year-old that was coming back from football practice and got in between two gangs and was shot and killed.
Mm.
And then there was like all the parents and all the gang members and all that all basically shut up shop. Like no one talked, no one wanted to help the cops and all that. It was all like this code of no one snitches, no one tells. It's like, and the parents are on TV going, "This is our 12-year-old son." Like parents, like, please.
The circle just goes on, doesn't it? It's just that sort of, no one says anything, no one's seen anything, and then the revenge goes on, and the next gang stabs the next person who they think stabbed their mate, and it just goes on and on.
Never ends.
That's why, at least comparing it to the US, I always say, like the stabbing sprees, generally they get like maybe 2 or 3 people, whereas the guy in Las Vegas getting 50 people. So yes, there is knife violence, and like we can't ban knives because knives they have other purposes.
I mean, it's like kitchen stuff, isn't it? That's what they'll use. It's just.
That's what they try to say that, if you're going to ban guns and ban cars and ban knives and all that, it's like, but all of those things have other purposes. like people are misusing them. That doesn't mean we should ban them. Whereas, I'm sorry, but guns are only either to scare people or to hurt people or to kill people. That's all they do. You're not opening up bottles with them.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's the world, isn't it? Now things change. But then, the world before, when things weren't reported, every little thing is reported now in the news, isn't it? And it's dramatized, it's headline grabbing, it's clickbait, whatever you want to call it. Like,
you're just bombarded, and you're just constantly bombarded by every little thing.
And then you'll go and read the story that whatever it said, and you'll find that it's actually nothing like what the title
said.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, that shouldn't be allowed. it's like some of the newspapers here hound people, you know, especially like people who like celebs or whatever, and they get hounded, and then, you know, things happen because they get hounded. And I mean, if you look at like the Sun, there was a presenter called Caroline Flack. She used to do like Love Island and stuff, and there was some sort of altercation with a boyfriend of hers, and then it was something got sneaked into the news, so I don't know, and it was just everywhere. She was took to court and that, even though the boyfriend didn't want to press charges, and it was apparently an accident, and that there was like a photo, someone had sneaked a photo of the scene in a house or something, and there was some blood which was actually hers, but it was all made out to be the boyfriend's, and that she'd struck him with a lamp, and she was literally hounded. And I remember there being like for months and months there was like just constant new clickbait type titles in the newspaper about it, and this well, I'm assuming more or less all of the newspapers were doing similar thing, and there'd be like 6, 7, 8 different articles on this actual thing going on and on and on, you know. And she took her own life, you know. Eventually she took her own life. She was just hounded and hounded and hounded, and it's just and immediately she was hounded, it was like they did the reverse, didn't they? They like made it all the articles that they brought out in the negative of her, they'd removed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there was a public outcry of grief then, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But it was like, it's too late. The damage has been done.
Yeah.
You know, we all go through shitty stuff. There's nothing worse that I can imagine than my dirty laundry and being out there in the public eye.
Yeah.
You know, it's, my God, there's nothing worse.
No, but then the thing is it's not just out there. You know, usually when something happens, it's like what we'll call chip shop wrap the next day, because
tomorrow's chip paper.
Yeah, tomorrow's newspaper, so it's used as chip shop wrap, and like
we say bird cage lining.
Yeah, or bird cage lining, yeah. Where it's like with that, it's just this kind of hounding. It's just the whole sort of social media type of hounding that happens. A
good movie to watch about that is the I can't remember his name, but it's the guy that was accused of the Atlanta Olympics bombing. Like there's a movie about him on Netflix, like it's a movie, not a documentary and all that. And basically, like he went from the hero to the possible suspect on no real grounds at all, and then they dig into his past, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse. And this guy can't stop talking as well, so he digs his own grave, even though he's a bit eccentric, he's a little bit weird, but at the same time he was very, like one of those that a little bit mentally not all there, but he was doing a job, so he's focused on doing that job as best as he could. And he found this bag, and everyone else is just like, whatever, dude, it's just a backpack, someone left it behind. And he's like, no, this could be serious. So so because he acted that way, that's when the government and the media went over him, because they thought he must have had something to do with it and all that. And then it goes through his whole story of having to basically, he wasn't battling the FBI, he was battling the media, who were just digging up stuff and trying to. They wanted to find their guy. They're like, no, this is the person that did it. So we got to just make it look like he's as guilty as possible. And then even the FBI, like they were trying to like they interviewed him, and they were saying, okay, they were pretending he wasn't a suspect. They were acting like he was going to mentor people on how to to know what to do in these sort of situations and all that. And they gave him a form, and they said, okay, what we want you to do is just to sign this on camera, just to show people, how we do, whatever it was and all that. And it was actually a confession, and they were trying to get him to sign it on camera, just as saying that he was, in a documentary playing a role. And I think it's Richard something, but they went to these. You're watching this going, oh my God, this is based on real life, and this is what the FBI were doing.
Madness. Richard Jewell.
And they got him to even on the phone, they got him to say the exact words that the bomber did when they rang up and said there's a bomb in Olympic Park. They got him to say it over and over again. They said it was some like voice recognition thing or something, but they're getting him to say the exact same words and all that just so they could. It's like, oh my God.
Wow.
They found their person and they were determined to make him be the guilty person. Like,
I watched.
it's a very interesting and scary movie to watch. Of just,
I watched.
The guy's just a bit of a bumbling idiot.
just Mercy. Where this guy, where it was a true story about Brian. I'm forgetting his surname, but he was a Black American who went to Harvard. Was it Harvard? Can't remember. Anyway, he went to college and then he went back and helped people who didn't have any money to try and get them out of prison, because some of them had been in prison for absolutely nothing for 23 years, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And there was this one guy.
Is it the Innocence Project or
the what? Sorry.
The Innocence Project, is that one?
It's the Something Project. It could be. Honestly, I don't remember nothing. My brain's terrible. But he got this guy off, which he should have been anyway, because he was all of the things that you read about in his thing, it was just because he was black, he was blamed, you know what I mean, kind of thing. That was basis of it. And it was what was his name? Jamie Foxx played the guy in it. It was a really good film. Just Mercy if you come across it. But it was
that was The Hurricane, that movie where Jamie Foxx played the boxer, wasn't it? That he got sent because he was black and in the neighborhood. So
yeah,
we found our guy. There's a black guy around the corner. That's him. He must have done it.
T-Cakes is saying, oh Dave, in Switzerland you don't need a permit for a semi-automatic gun. Ownership is very high and there's no mass shootings for decades. It's a culture that's messed up in the States.
Oh, for sure. It's a culture, but then it's just a culture with a whole shit ton of guns that doesn't help.
Yeah. Well, it's if they stopped it even in the short term and just, people who were responsible and licensed, and you know what I mean. Even someone can turn with anything, I suppose, a knife, a gun, whatever. But you know what I mean. It's just.
No, there's one comedian that it's either Dave Chappelle or what's his name, Chris Tucker, or one of those. He says, the guns are out there. We can't control the guns and all that. What we need is bullet control.
Yeah.
It's like if bullets cost $5,000, someone would have to be really angry at someone. Oh my God, he put $20,000.
That's actually the
bullets in him.
Yeah.
Is it Michael Moore? Michael Moore did the whole bowling for Columbine.
Yeah.
Because he's
like that, Michelle. It's just wrong.
Yeah, Michael Moore back in the day made a documentary, and he took the victims of shooting to Walmart's head office somewhere in America. To make.
To get
all the bullets. Yeah, they went and bought all the bullets, I think, from Walmart, and took them to Walmart's head office.
But even Richard Jewell in the movie, they find his, they say, do you have any guns here and all that? And he's like, well, yeah, I live in Georgia. So he pulls out all his guns and puts them on the bed and all that. So they make a big deal of that. And he's like, yeah, but anyone that lives here would have this many guns. Like, this is not an odd.
It's madness.
It's one I can definitely write. Just watched it on a whim, and it's actually a very interesting movie. And the guy finally got all his recognition that he was a hero. So it has a good ending that he sort of
Yeah. Sad that he had to go through that. And I mean, what that must have cost him mentally. You know what I mean? And
There's
there's
one of
always
those things.
people
Someone knocked it over in fun when he went away, and then someone knocked the bag over, and that ended up saving so many lives because it was actually set down in a way that it was to explode out. But because someone knocked it over, that also saved. I think only one person ended up dying in it. But yeah, just because this one freak thing that someone noticed it, knocked it over, and then
Yeah.
So where's old Louie going? He's been away for a while now.
Don't know. He said he was making phone calls, didn't he, or something? God knows with Louie. He's a funny one. We were talking the other day about, or at least I was. I watched a documentary. I like watching documentaries, to be honest. But it was about a Welsh rugby player called, God, what's his surname? Gavin. Sharon, what's his surname? You must know. Gavin Thomas. Is it Gavin Thomas? Gareth Thomas. Why can't I think? Gareth Thomas. Anyway, he obviously, you know, with coming out, he came out as gay, and because he was like a rugby player and he was meant to be a hard man, you know, like there was. I mean, I'm not saying he not have got any stick for it, because he probably will have in some quarters, but nothing like I think he didn't expect. But I don't know if it was after his career ended that he actually truly came out, type of thing, because there's a lot of like footballers and things like that where they don't do that sort of thing. Anyway, he did a documentary on it, and then he did a documentary because he was HIV positive. And the thing with HIV is, years and years ago, because I remember it, I was born in 75, so like, you know, I don't remember it, but I just remember it being everywhere and how it was, you know, this horrible disease, and do you know what I mean? And there was, you just died a horrible death and all that, and I remember it being everywhere. There was like a campaign about it at the time in the 80s.
Yeah, we had there was a famous bowling alley commercial on TV where all the death were all like bowling and then knocking down people as pins and all that, and that was like the first thing when you're young of, okay, this thing looks kind of scary.
Yeah, and they made all this thing, and it was all like terrifyingly scary, and then nothing else was said, you know, like over the years nothing else has been said. And so he made this, because he said when obviously he was when he was told he had HIV, he was just devastated, you know. He just thought, oh, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna, like, you know, blah blah, you know, like that kind of thing. It just sort of, but then when he's looked into it, there's so much now how it's changed, and he can literally live quite a normal life on the medication now, and it's not the fear it was, do you know what I mean? It's not the death sentence it used to be, but none of that has ever been really brought out. Like, I don't ever remember them saying this, do you know what I mean? And like, I remember watching this and thinking, you know, like, really, you know what I mean? Like, because it was, and he wanted to prove, because he was, you know, he was quite a fit guy, he was quite an athletic guy, because obviously he'd been doing the rugby and stuff, and he did like exercise, and he did this sort of like, I don't know if it's like a marathon thing, like a tough guy marathon thing, or whatever it is, where you do different things. And he wanted to do it to prove that just because you've got a diagnosis of HIV, that doesn't mean that your life's over, kind of thing. Even though, and it was really interesting to watch, like, because it seems like a nice bloke, do you know what I mean, and all of that sort of thing. But I watched it was on like the documentary here, but just the difference, and you think, why has none of this been said? You know what I mean? So many people.
In the US, it's sort of, that's been taken care of a lot because of the basketball player Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Michelle's just seeing that. We thought Magic Johnson was going to die. Hi, Brad.
And he actually when he gets tested now, he doesn't even come back positive anymore. Yeah, like having millions upon millions of dollars to a bit like Christopher Reeves with his, accident and all that. That when you got money to throw at it, or Michael J. Fox and Parkinson's as well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Magic's on the best medication, the best therapies, and all that. But yeah, he's fought it from day one, and that's they've reported that he goes in for tests now, and it's not even traceable in his system. It's still there, but they can't.
With him, it wasn't traceable because this whatever concoction of drugs that they're given obviously makes a massive difference. But you do just think back to those times when all of that sort of like thing was, and even like a lot of people, if someone had said, you know what I mean, to the majority of people sort of older than me, probably like 50 plus and that, they might oh sorry, I must have fell off. they might have had the same opinion. Like if someone said, oh, I'm HIV positive, they might have been like sort of very wary and stuff like that. But
that was Magic at the time. Like he like players didn't want to play against him. They were all very fearful of somehow catching it off him and all that. And then it took a few years for the NBA to basically be like, no, we're being jerked here. Like there's no chance that we should. Like he would have to literally be cut in a game, someone else be cut in a game, and then to like rub against each other for like 5 minutes. Like,
yeah.
But I think sports, because of people like him and him going back and all that, sports changed for the better when it came to, when someone's bleeding and all that. Now that the gloves come on and all that, which is stuff they should have been doing that from day one. Like,
but
so it's sort of and now like. You compare that now to how everyday interactions are handled with gloves and masks and all that. Whereas back then, to put gloves on because someone's bleeding a little bit was like, that's being a bit extreme.
Yeah. But it was whereas now, sort of like, it'd be like, sort of tough and just got on with it, innit? Type of thing, attitude that everyone, and it's like the whole mental health thing, isn't it? It's like people were just looked at as being loonies, I suppose. I did my family tree, and I don't know what was wrong with some great aunt or whatever. I don't know what was wrong with her, but it said that she had like a low mental age. Do you know what I mean? But in the brackets, it just put lunatic. You know what I mean? Like you just put lunatic, and then I think in something else that was written, she was called an idiot. And like you just think of that nowadays, like it's just, she probably just had like learning difficulties or something. But like back then, that's what it was. And then there was like sort of places, wasn't there, like insane asylums and stuff, when they give them like electric treatment and God knows what, and really just some of them were like obviously things that we've now found out is a disability or whatever, and obviously some of them are just like it's a mental health issue. You know what I mean? It's just the world has changed a lot.
No, definitely.
Michael J. Fox isn't doing well apparently.
Okay. Yeah, my father, he had Parkinson's and dementia and all that, and when I spoke at his funeral, I actually said, like I mentioned people like Michael J. Fox and all that, and I said, Dad, in the early years, like he kept anything that was on TV about it, he'd instantly record and all that, and he'd be like, look, there's this therapy going on and this and all that. Like he knew that all these advances were coming, and like the switch they put in people's brains that they could literally turn it off and lose the shakes and all that, and like he was wanting to fight it early on. Like he's like, there's all these different, so it's scary. Sort of like grandmother had Alzheimer's and my father had Parkinson's and dementia and all that. So that's why one thing that I want to talk about it more and more in my videos eventually when I get a little bit more in depth and all that is like that stepfather of mine as well that owned the pawn shops. My father, my mother, so many people I know, they never enjoyed a day of retirement. Like people look at this retirement thing as this beautiful end goal, but it's not assumed. It's not always there. You can't assume that you get to 65 and then you can live this great, wonderful life like it. So that's my wife. She had the car accident, so that was sort of a bit of a catalyst and all that. And then we also had a car accident one time because someone very naughty was driving tired, and I actually fell asleep at the wheel, and that could have ended very, very badly. Like that was, and so that was sort of one thing that played in our minds of we've got to live the day. We've got to, we're not going to go skydiving and driving around at 200 kilometers an hour or anything like that. But you've got to start living the life you want. You can't. Retirement's not there. My father, he wanted to, go to Graceland because he was a big Elvis fan.
That was that sort of generation, though, wasn't it? And it was like, we do this now, and then, you know what I mean?
The rewards at the end when you can't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like even if you do get there, like there's some people who, and that's like a big thing for me. Like when Americans talk about COVID, and they, like it's a 99.97% survival rate and all that. It's like death isn't the only bad thing that can happen to you. There are so many people that are going to have lifelong problems because people are losing their sense of smell. People are, losing like half a lung, things like that. Like, yes, just because you survive, that's awesome, but there's a lot of other things that can happen to you along the way and all that. So yes, you might get to that retirement age, but your ability to enjoy it might be greatly diminished. So if you got that opportunity, and that's what a lot of resellers, I think that's a big part of what a lot of us do, is that we want that lifestyle change. We don't want to be, 9 to 5 workers and, dealing with, just like every time I see a retail job up for offer here and all that, I'm just think, the one part of your brain goes, employment. You need employment. Employment is the right thing to do. But then my other brain goes, no. I don't want to be in that world again. I want to be happy. I want to do what I love. And every time, when you wake up and you find that $2 item that you sold for $100, that's when your brain goes, that's the better way to work.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what you want to do. Like I've had days where I've been sitting at home listing and all that, and my wife comes home and she makes about $200 a day for her job and all that. And on the good days and all that, it's like, I matched you today. I had, I sold 200. So those are the good days. There's days of zero as well, which bring you down a little bit, but you just got to keep listing. But that's why we do it, because we're, waking up and realizing that, there's more to life than just
freedom.
And that's the beauty of living in countries like we do, is like I said earlier, that not having that healthcare worry for one, having pension, if everything goes tits up, at least then at the end of the day we can get pension in Australia, and I think you guys have that.
Yeah, we do.
In the UK and all that. So there's a lot more safety.
It's not going to be around forever. They're obviously singing it out type of thing. But do something else called universal credit. I don't know if that's something that will stay forever. Probably not. Things change all the time, don't they, within the governments and stuff. So,
well, we don't have kids ourselves, and my in-laws, they're both still very much alive, and he's just moved back to Papua New Guinea to work, and they own about 5 houses because they don't have really a retirement plan. So that's their, they'll slowly sell these houses and all that, and that's how they'll fund it. And my parents were always the case of how much they're going to leave us. Like, like when we pass, you're going to get this much money and all that. And we were talking about it with Carmen's mother, and basically, her father, he's probably got 5 years to go. He's not a very healthy man, but he's fighting on and all that. He doesn't tell a lot of, all what he's going through and all that, but it's a lot. And we keep telling her, like, if you want to cruise around the world for the next 20 years and blow through most of it, we don't care. It's your money. You don't have to leave us a cent. Like, it's yours. Like, they keep saying, oh, that house will be yours and that house will be blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. You enjoy it. Like, you fly first class around the world if you want. Like, do whatever you want. She's bloody earned it. She had both knees replaced in her life, so she's hobbles around and all that. She's been through the wars and all that. If she wants to sit back on a cruise ship, which I don't know if you want to do that anymore, but if she wants to to spend all our money in big chunks like that, then go right ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's not worth waiting for anything that you want. Just do it. Go for it. Have it. Enjoy it.
Oh, look at this.
Aye.
So they finally called it now.
No, they finally called it.
Yep.
How long before Trump announces he's going to court?
So now the protests will start.
Yeah, I kind of some of the things he says.
The protests, which quickly turned into riots.
Well, wasn't his? I remember him saying something about the COVID thing, and he was going there. People were saying, "Oh, it's like the highest. You know, it's spreading the fastest, and it's the highest in America." And he was, and on the form that the guy had done, there was like Spain and England and everybody else type of thing, and at the bottom it had the whole of the world, which is like everybody's totals all together. And he went, "We're not as bad as the whole of the world." Like, Christ. You know what I mean? How? Like, I mean, yeah. He's already.
Yeah, but look at the world. The world's in trouble. We're not in trouble. Just the world is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a dumb.
He's terrible. He really is.
Oh, when you were talking about like when it was at its height a couple of months ago, when people were the most scared of it and all that, and he was basically saying, well, what we need to do is start reducing the number of tests, and then we won't have as many positives. And it's like, oh my God, like what? Like that's like saying let's take all the cops off speed patrol, and then all of a sudden we'll have less drivers being arrested for speeding. It's like, well, yes, if you stop looking for it, you're not going to find it. But that's.
He's something else, like, isn't he? What was that? That whole sort of disinfectant? Can you inject disinfectant?
Yeah, that's when he caught it himself. Our health minister from my state, he actually tweeted something like, or perhaps you should go and check yourself with some bleach.
Yeah, but
like he's a full-on politician, and he wrote something like that, and I thought, like they've just got into government for their third term, because our state, we've closed our borders to New South Wales a lot, and now we've still got it closed to Victoria and Sydney, and the rest of the New South Wales Premier, the Victorian Premier, the Australian Prime Minister, they all harassed our leader like, open the borders, this is ridiculous. But everyone in our state, well, not everyone, but for the most part, unless you're in tourism or in a restaurant, we're all like, no, keep those borders closed. We're okay with it. And right in the height of it, 2 weeks ago, she got voted back in. So now she's, of course, taken this big, stick it up to you guys. Like, obviously I was right because the people voted for me again. So, yes, it hurt us, like the money and all that, but we needed to keep it under control. It had to be done. And WA, they've been doing it pretty much from the start. But because there's no like border towns and all that, or there's only a couple of very small border towns into WA, no one sort of cried about it. Whereas we've got cities like my city. I'm like, if I could walk from here and be in New South Wales. There's a big giant concrete barrier across the road, so I can't drive up our road to get to it. But literally, end of our road, it's New South Wales. So people say, oh, but people in border towns and this and that and all the other. I'm like, I live in a border town. I haven't been restricted. Like, we forget sometimes that it's right there. But and it's just funny that she was condemned so much by other leaders and all that, and right in the midst of it to get voted back in and by a bigger margin than what they won last time. Which that's a problem with the US election that Joe's. He hasn't eked it in, but it's been close enough in a few areas and all that, and that's when Donald will, flare up and be like,
"Oh yeah, like Patricia's saying he's already announced the court cases to come." It's just going to be ridiculous.
That to me is what like a child would do at a school election.
Don't he have any money? How's he going to pay for it?
Oh, there's some guy that's pledged $500,000 for him to fight it.
It's ridiculous.
It's funny too. Like when you look around the map of the American voting and who won what area in each state and all that.
Yeah.
It's basically, it comes down to city versus country, because every map you zoom in on, like say Nevada, all the blue areas are around Las Vegas and Reno. You go to Georgia and it's Atlanta and God, I can't remember. It's like the two, 3 or 4 biggest cities in each state, they're all blue around the cities. And then the rest of the area is all red. So he won all those states where the big cities aren't that big and the country people dominate it, sort of thing. So it comes down to, you know, the gods and guns country people versus the city people. Like, it's just scary. Like, state by state, you see it in the capital city. Pretty much, it can be a state that's dominated by the red side of the equation, but still it'll be, oh yeah, there's the capital city will be blue.
So I hear there's like areas, isn't there, with conservatism nearby, but God knows what will happen in the future.
Yeah, I posted the meme up the other day of the of Homer Simpson sitting there at his desk, and everyone else behind him in the doorway saying, you know, like, oh, look out, everyone, America's going to do something stupid here, and like Homer's going to vote. So it's like, and then the caption is the rest of the world watching America, and it's like, that's how it feels right now, that you're just waiting. Like it doesn't matter who wins and who loses in this. There's going to be protests. There's going to be complaints. There's going to be and you watch some of these people and the fact that their leader says this stuff is scary, but then you watch other people who they eat it up and they believe it 100%.
I know.
They think, like I watched one where people thought in their election, because it was a Donald Trump dominated area, that they were given the wrong pens to vote with just so their votes wouldn't count. Like, they honestly thought that the commission had gone to that level of conspiracy that, okay, we'll give all the Donald Trump voters Nico pen, or whatever you call it, like permanent marker instead of pencil, and their votes won't be counted. And people honestly, that's when these court cases are based around things like that. Or like, he's a bit annoyed that, okay, well, here's 30,000 votes that we haven't counted yet. They'll count them, and then they'll be mostly for Joe, because all his supporters were the ones that stayed at home and voted by mail. So he's like, you know, there was 30,000 extra votes for Joe. It's like, well, yeah, because the people that voted for him are the ones that voted by mail. That's how it worked. They were the ones that, you know, chose to be safe. So it's not that they found 30,000 votes for Joe. It's that they found 30,000 postal votes, and 25,000 of them happened to be for Joe because that's what his supporters did.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like the situation set up itself. It's like, so all these states that he was leading slightly in after they voted, then he slowly lost because of all these mail-in votes, and he thought, oh no, all these votes are coming from nowhere. It's like, no, they were sitting there. They hadn't got to them yet, but they were ready. Because of the mail votes, they got to sit there and open each one, so they do them second. You know, the ones they just got to unfold and look at, they do them first, and then they go slowly through all the mail-in votes. And there in so many states, like when it was tied, there was like, I think 3 states. I think it was like Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin. There were 3 that he was leading, and then he slowly lost. And that's when, that's when he started complaining that, oh, there's this voter fraud and all that. It's like, no, they're just counting the votes that aren't for you.
Michelle's saying, Homer can raise a family, hold down a job, drive a car. Smart enough, lol. Yeah, smarter than Donald.
Yeah, I had a friend who he worked as in a medical plant. He was the safety officer there, and to me, it always felt the same. Like, he was the most klutziest, dumbest person that would do the most stupidest things, and then he's like a health and safety officer at this medical plant that does, you know, like, and it's like, of all the people. But then when he's doing his job, he's right on the money and all that. But as soon as he clocks off, like, he's one that, you know, we'll be out climbing out and using chainsaws, and he's in flip flops. Yeah, you know, like out working with a chainsaw. It's like, but you work in health and safety.
Maybe he just like has to break all the rules of it or something just to prove a point. I don't know. It's madness, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, I just had someone messaging me.
Sorry.
just a friend of mine commenting on the last video I made, because he's an author and a award and a photographer as well, like a very, very good photographer. So he sort of talks to me a lot more technical side of it and all that. And
I'd love to be an author.
In my last video, it was like the camera was acting up a little bit and all that, and it was something that he'd said to me previously, that I was sort of going for too high end. Like I had my phone setting on, like, you know, the 4K awesome sort of one and all that, and then sort of that played against me. I was trying to make it look too good, but it actually became too shaky then, and too. So I've pulled all it back now just to try and get it to.
Either your Wi-Fi couldn't cope, or your Wi-Fi speed couldn't cope, or your laptop didn't go that high end or whatever. I had something similar happen, because I had like a 4K little like GoPro type thing, but it's not a real GoPro. And then that would do the same thing. It would just go all sturdy thing. Stuttery. Lenny's picture book. The birds in my neighbourhood. No one would buy it though, Michelle. No one would buy my picture book of birds. It's just my fault.
This is my low-tech way to sort of be on camera, but then also to keep a look at the chat. 2 phones.
Yeah, I've done that before.
It's the easiest way to do it. Still 26 people here watching us. That's good.
Yeah,
we're holding an okay audience. If I get 26 views on some of the videos, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. It's 12 as well. Yeah, midnight, 12 in the morning technically. So
prime time in the US and nice morning time here.
So there's still a few UK people in there. Yeah, and the rat moving. I was recording in the park, and I'd seen like heron and a mandarin duck and some other things, and then I saw something moving. It was like in the distance, but I couldn't quite see properly. So I was like trying to view it, and I was like, I can't see. So I zoomed in on the camera and then recorded it moving across the water. And I still didn't know what it was till I got home, and then I watched it back, and it was only a rat. I'd watched a rat swim across. I thought it was like a duck underwater or something.
Yeah, the video that I posted last night, it actually starts off. So we're in the caravan at the start, like before I do the intro video and all that. And I was sitting on the steps of the caravan and all that, and we had the dog cage outside, like the little enclosure we put the dogs in if we don't want them in the van. And the door was left open because the dogs are inside. Yeah. And a couple of magpies. They're a bird in Australia.
Yeah, we get magpies. Yeah.
Yeah. They were inside the cage eating the dog food and all that. So at the start of the video, I'm like, well, here's a couple of the dumbest magpies ever, because all I have to do is close the door, and I literally walked into a cage.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there watching that, going, "Oh, you crazy guys! Like, I can catch you right now."
Michelle's saying, you never know, people like to bird watch and teach kids about local birds. I don't know that much myself, to be honest. I obviously see them, but there's always amazing facts that you never know, isn't there? The Houston reseller. What up, Nate? He says. Hello, by the way. Is that friend? Is that your friend?
I talk in a lot of chats. So I was in one yesterday for a couple of hours, and it was funny. I can't remember his name right now. I'm terrible. I think most resellers that are on YouTube, I reckon they have a list of all people's usernames and then their real names, just so they can quickly reference them until you learn them. But there's one guy I was in a chat with him last week, and at the end he'd logged off and all that, and I said something about the disc golf shop, and he's like, "I'm a disc golfer. You never mentioned that." And the whole time I was wearing a hat that had like one of the brands of disc golf on, and he'd never even noticed it. So yesterday we're talking a little bit about, the disc golf and all that, because that's, we've on our property, we've also got a failed disc golf course that we had a couple of good years and all that, but unfortunately it's sort of died off now. But that's another part of our, that's in our YouTube videos. We sort of, that we've got, compared to some people, we've got a very interesting, eclectic life, with all the animals and the disc golf and the reselling road trips that we do and all that.
What
So
are you calling it? What golf?
Frisbee golf, disc golf.
Oh, frisbee golf. What you actually?
Yes.
Okay, so you actually use little mini frisbees with actually golf clubs.
No. Like you actually just throw them like.
Just take your
frisbee.
hand.
Yep.
But it's called frisbee golf.
Or disc golf is because frisbee is actually.
Never heard of
frisbee
that.
is owned by Whammo. You can't use the word frisbee.
You can't use the word frisbee. Yeah.
It's a copyright, so they changed it early on to disc golf.
And never.
But yeah, we've got one of the top 5 courses in the country in our backyard, and there's 2 courses in Australia that are owned privately by just people, not businesses or anything like that. And we're the only ones still that live, like our house, our property is the course. So that's a bit. I haven't really focused on it too much, but it's just there as another thing that I can occasionally. We had one time we went out, played around, and Dodger was the Kelpie was there chasing the frisbees, and I mounted a GoPro to him. So he's running around.
Yeah.
He's running around grabbing the distance. Yeah, I strapped it on the backyard, and his mate Rocky went flying up the mountain. So Dodger went and followed him, and I didn't think about it because it was mounted to the top of him. And then he dove under a barbed wire fence. So the first thing you see is the camera just go clunk under the ground. So I had to catch him, which, being Dodger is catching Dodger's half the effort, and strap it all back onto him and all that. But yeah, it was just, like 8 minutes of Dodger running around the mountain catching frisbees and that's what we like. It's one of those things where having a reseller channel, you can do, your what solds and, here's everything I sourced and all that, which that gets you hardcore reselling people in. Yeah, but then also we want to do a mix. We want to have, we
do a mix.
Yeah, we do like a cooking thing with Carmen and little things like that. And I think it's good to do that.
John's asking what your channel name is, Nate, but I'm assuming it's Drifter Thrifter.
Yeah, John? That's me.
Michelle's gotten us making children's books about a rat, which was once going to be called Larry, and now it's called Percy. And there's a guy who does like animation, like one of the resellers. He's really good at animation, so she's saying get him to do the animation.
Yeah, eventually I want to do a different logo when we start on the road and all that with our caravan, but then also, like, I've always got the baseball cap on and Carmen's got her Akubra hat, so sort of have that be like the focus of our logo and all that of the caravan, and our 2 different hats that we wear.
Gary was
I tell people we had all these grand plans of getting in the caravan and heading out, because the small country towns, that's where you find the gold in the thrift stores. Like we go to the CBD Brisbane, which is about 2.5 hours away, and I've given up going to the op shops because you're just spending so much more time to find next to nothing. Whereas we can go to a small country town and drop $200, and that means something to that town. Like, they're excited for their small store to get that sort of money, and we're finding stuff that just blows us away. So, and that's what we wanted to do, was to hop in the caravan and go out for a couple of months and find all the cool and stuff and show these adventures and all that. But then I've said it a few times jokingly, but my wife went and rudely got a job. So it's like, we're sort of making it up as we go now. And we had like the 3-day trip that we did, that I'm just putting the videos up now. And on her weekend, we might go away for a night, or just do like for us, hopping in the car and going 3 hours to do a day trip is nothing. We're not city people. You tell city people it's something an hour away, and a lot of them just sort of cringe and, you know, oh, that's too far. Whereas for us, if there's a town 3 hours away that's got 3 op shops and we can have fun on the day, that's what we do. We find that fun. And then you get to these towns, and that's what you find. Like I found, it was at the Gundawindi, it was the church op shop we went to there, and I found a 40-year-old Australian rugby jersey, like a 1981, and it was just like, and that was $2. Like everything was $2 in that store. So that's we spent over $200 in that store, and then I had to move it all out of the car that night because I slept in the car.
Wow.
That's that's what we want to do. Like these small towns is like I spoke to some people in the US too, and like you see all the trying to remember all their names that live in that certain area. What's his name? It's my brain is gone completely right now.
Yeah, mine's the same.
Dante, the Prison of Prophets, and then also Harry Tornado. A whole heap of them. They all live in that one area that has the bin store. Yeah. And like I was talking in a chat the other day, and people were saying like, yeah, when they go to the thrift stores or to those and all that, there's like 20, 50, 100 people in line. Like so, it's a very different market here. Whereas, you know, a lot of them too are realizing that they're better off going to these small towns and you know, yes, you have to travel to get to them, but then that's when you find, you know, the gold. That's where there's no one else looking for the same thing. So that's, you know, even when we went on this trip, we went to a town that was 30,000 people. Like I found some good stuff. Like we did very well, but at the same time, we get so much more out of going to a town of like 500 people that have one op shop. Yeah, they're way more. Yeah, and I'd rather like for me too. Like I spoke to about Carmen the other day, that like having like 10 stores to try to get to in a town in one day, we didn't enjoy that. Like you're barely grazing over those 10 stores. Like you're just rushed. Yeah, just grabbing the gold that you can see right away and all that. Whereas if we go to a town that has 3, then we can enjoy the day. Like you look through those 3 stores and you can hit up Facebook Marketplace and see if anyone's got anything for sale and go out for a nice lunch and all that. So that's, and we probably end up, we go to a town that has 3 stores, we probably end up with just as much stuff as the town that has 10.
Yeah, where I live is a city, and we've got like 15 to 20 charity shops, something like that. So it's quite a few. But like some of them are like the chain ones, which are like big business, like the
Salvation Army and
the British Heart Foundation and Oxfam and things like that. And then they tend to be more expensive, like, you know, quite a lot more expensive, sometimes ridiculously more expensive. Like, and then you've got a lot of like just sort of, there's like Pause for Thought, Happy Days for Strays. It's like a few single one-off charities that they're probably the better option to go for, because they're like, you know, they have like one shop in the area, you know what I mean? Like, because that's,
see, I'm one of those. I think a little bit differently to a lot of people, and like you can go into some store, like yes, that one in Gundawindi that had everything was $2. It had not been picked, so it was awesome. But especially in the bigger cities and all, like if you're in a bigger city, I don't mind when the prices are that little bit higher, because that stops people just randomly grabbing something that they may not want that much, but they just think, oh, that awesome sports jersey is only $2, so I may as well get it. Whereas I don't mind the ones that if they have it priced at $10, $12, $15, if I know it's worth $100.
at the end of the day, it depends what you're going to be there. That's the end result, you know what I mean? But if they're putting something, like if they're putting £8 on something that like, like from Primark, there's a store called Primark here, and there, I mean, you can get a t-shirt and then like brand new for like probably £3 or £4. So if you go in, if you then see that t-shirt marked up at like £6, £8 in a
charity
That's-
store. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have the same thing here. You look at
kind of ridiculousness. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, so do ours. Ian, he's saying our local British Heart Foundation offers finance on their furniture, which is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Is that because they priced them so high?
The price from so high, and people obviously,
Hmm.
because a lot of people, those who, are not resellers, they're going in those stores because they need something cheaper. And
Like, there's one store I went to in what was it? Wasn't Lismore? The video I just put up today, and I showed like they had a massive row of video games. They had a massive row of video games because they were $5 each.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of places they're $2 each. So they had so many because they were overpriced. But that also meant that I could pick through and find like the 5 or 6 gems because they were sitting there because people. Whereas if they're $1 each, I would have I thought they were $2 each at one stage, and I had to put a whole heap back because I realised the price. But that's the thing, that if they're priced high enough, then there's a better chance of stuff they're waiting for you. Whereas if stuff's like I went to a big op shop in Brisbane last time I was there. And there was one store that this must have just been after COVID and all that, and had reopened, so they were clearing out, so they had $1 on everything. I walked out empty-handed because it had been picked clean. There was like nothing, $1 an item, and I walked out empty-handed. So because people just would be like, fill the bags, like you'll find the occasional thing, and that's when we sort of experiment with a few things that we, you'll buy stuff you don't normally buy because you think, oh, well, I've got to fill the bag up.
You've got to try it.
But yeah, so many people would have gone in there $1 each and just gone, yep. You don't think about it as much, so you buy anything and everything. So yeah, I never complain about prices. It's just, if it's too expensive, I can't make money on it, then that's the case.
Yeah, it's just that sort of thing, isn't it? Like.
But like you said, when they price up things that, like for us, it's Kmart and all that, $3 shirts that they have $4 on used, and it's like, well, no, because some places will have this blanket like every t-shirt's $4, and it's like, well, that's a bit silly when there's shirts here that are worth next to nothing. Yeah, when you think about it, you can pay a ridiculous amount for one type of shirt and then completely nothing for another, and then they just mark them all at the same. But it's one of them things, isn't it? Like, it just depends where you go, and the like the British Heart Foundation, they're a business, you know what I mean? It's not a charity, it's a business at the end of the day. Like they have really high running costs because they have big bosses, and it's ridiculous. Some of them are ridiculous considering they're a charity, very high costage. She hasn't moved.
No. She was
I was going to start working for one in Canada, but they actually have it where I can't remember the name of it, but basically, which I didn't mind the concept at all because it actually works out pretty well for resellers and all that. But it's like this place buys bulk clothes off charity stores and then goes through it and all that, and then they mark stuff accordingly. So they give money to charities by buying. Okay, we'll buy 5 tons of clothing off you. So they give to charities that way, and then they have employees, which I actually got the job, but then I decided to leave Canada. They have employees, and they like a cheap T-shirt will be $2, but then a hockey jersey will be $20. So it's a thrift store, but then it's actually sort of run as a business, and actually there's some thought into, okay, like you said, that having all the shirts at one price is not correct when there's things that cost $200 when they were new, and those things that cost $3 when they were new.
Yeah, but it's like the sort of chain ones, like the British Heart Foundation, they've got like shop managers that get paid. Some of the other ones, the sort of single shop type ones, they have all volunteers. There's no paid. I mean, there might be a manager, but she's not a paid manager. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's a volunteer in there. Whereas like the bigger chain things have paid workers that then obviously have to have, they get set they've got a set amount of things that they've got to follow. They've got to reach certain targets and things like that. So it totally changes how it works, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. Like I actually went for a job probably about 3 months ago now that was a manager. It was only a weekend manager, but it was a paid role at a charity store. And like the woman who ended up getting the job, like I go in there and like you buy 5 items and she can't even add it up maths wise. Like she has to sit there and write it down. So I'm like, okay, how did I lose out here? But then also in the meeting and all that, I was talking to them about, that I resell clothes and that online and all that. So I know this stuff, not backwards, but I know it pretty well. That, like I said to them in this meeting, like I said last week I bought a $5 bag here that I sold for $150.
Yeah, they might have
like, what bag was it? What? Like they were blown away that they'd given away something for $5 that was worth so much more. It's like, and they didn't see the value in someone like me that could actually come in there and be like,
yeah,
okay,
but then they might have looked at it in the term of you'd be doing it for your own benefit, if you know what I mean. Like in the sense of you would take out the good stuff, that kind of thing. However, if they weren't marking it down right anyway, they're not really. Well,
that's what in the interview I actually said that. I said if there's anything that ever was a conflict of interest of, hey, I really want this item and all that, I said I would always get someone to independently price it, not myself. So I sort of covered my butt there to say, well, like I really want this item and all that. What would you price it at just so I can get I think if you ever worked in a charity shop, you'd have to distance your reseller brain from your I'm at work brain. I think that's the only way it could work.
Yeah.
If you're constantly thinking of your own self and what you want to grab and all that, it just wouldn't work.
I guess some places wouldn't be bothered. It just depends, isn't it? So there's people out there who look at it as well. You're buying it to sell on, and it's a charity thing, blah blah. But at the end of the day, they don't realise how much is put into them charities. Like how much them charities need resellers. Do you know what I mean? Because
I'm honest from day one. Like my wife had some, she was always like a little bit iffy about telling them and all that, but I'm like, no, tell them, because bit like us eBay resellers, especially in Australia, we helped Australia Post stay afloat. Yeah. Like, so they can't be mad at us for bringing in 100 parcels because we're keeping them bloody afloat. Same with the charity shops and all that. Yes, we're there to make money, but we're also, like I said, the small towns that I go to, and we drop $150, $200 in a small community. Like it was funny. There was one we went to right after they reopened after COVID, and we spent like $220. Yeah. I went to a charity shop in a nearby town shortly after, and they were actually on the phone to the other one, and I heard basically the whole conversation of them saying that we made like $800 today, but like a quarter of that were this one couple. Yeah. So it was sort of like, and then they got off the phone. I'm like, that was us. So it was quite funny that you can have that sort of impact on a small town, especially. And yes, there's some that might get a little bit narky that you're in here to try and make money. It's like, yeah, but we're giving you money. We're paying the fair price that you've got marked on it.
Yeah. We're not.
And at the moment, they're all backstocked like crazy. So they need people like us to go in there and buy 50 items so they can go to their back and get 50 items to bring out.
Exactly.
But I might get my day started now, so I might head off. Unfortunately, there's no one else. Hopefully someone else jump online, get on camera. Don't be shy.
No worries, Nate. It was nice to talk to you. And to meet
nice to talk to you too.
And I'll catch you.
I know it's not a very flattering camera angle, is it? Like
I'll look for you after I come off here and add you. What's it called? I'll subscribe. That's what I'm trying to say. I know.
Yeah, the videos are getting better. It's funny. Like, have you heard of? There's he's called the Cat Guy in America. He does JT the puppet.
No.
Okay, he does JT. That's his big shtick that he does. Is he's got a puppet that he does the introduction with and all that. So he's quite funny and his sales are good. Like he's actually very knowledgeable and all that. And I showed him a message because he always talks about, oh, your editing is so great and all that. Like, I wish I could do that and all that. And I sent him a message from me talking to a friend 6 months ago saying, I really need to download one of these apps and learn how to edit. I said, I started from nothing as well. I just had to self-teach myself these apps. And, I'd done a little bit of film study in high school and university and all that. So I had a little bit of an idea of, how to edit and all that. But I showed him, I said, I knew nothing 6 months ago. I just said, no, I'm going to download an app and I'm going to slowly learn how to do this. And each time I do a video, I sort of, what's that button do? Or maybe I'll try this. Or so each time I sort of do a different thing, like try, because the app keeps updating as well. So now, like previously I could double speed or I could half speed a video. That's the limits that I had. But now you can go up to like 48 speed. So that's another thing now that I can, if I want to do like a quick fast forward scene, I can do. So as the app upgrades, you can go, oh, there's a new feature. I'll give that a try. So
mine does 8 times speed, but that's about it. And I mean, I'm not like the best at doing them. I'm really not. But I try.
Well, I wanted to get to that stage where there's YouTubers that I watch that I really like. Like I look at A, their content, but B, their editing styles and all that. And there's some that I'm sort of, chasing the tail. Like they're ones that I like. I want mine to start looking like that. So that's sort of been my motivation, and not to poo-poo Aussie resellers and all. There's a few that I like and I'll watch and all that, but there's not many. I sort of think that I'm at the level video-wise of most of them. Like I'm sort of I'm in the field. I'm in the pack. So I'm looking more at the overseas ones of going, that's the quality that I want to get to. That's what I want to look like and all that. So, I'm trying. I think, a polished video is a lot easier to watch, whereas there's some people you just watch, like I'm trying to, what's her bloody name? I love her to death. She's funny, so I'm not criticizing her at all. But Hot Flip Heidi, have you seen?
I don't know her.
Her videos are like, she even calls them the misadventures in reselling. Like her video style is very unique, and how she bumbles through everything and all that. It's like basically like the Mr. Bean of reselling. Like she just makes mistakes, but then she just laughs about them. And like she had a reselling video where she went on a thrifting video. But her whole purpose was, my death piles are already big enough, so I don't need to really buy anything. So she did a whole thrifting video where she didn't buy anything. Wow. So it's like okay, so but it's a different level of entertaining. Like it's almost like watching The Office UK. Like it's cringy, but then it's entertaining and interesting and informative, and a lot of like not what to do, and seeing that not everyone, like she'll slowly gain those instincts that we all have of learning.
I think if that's her true self, then
definitely, yes.
You know what I mean? Like you have to be your true self. You can't be something on here. I don't believe like there's so many who sort of present a certain thing to what they think that they should be, and how can you can't just I don't to sort of act their way through it, and I don't want that. I want
one YouTuber I was watching him edit his video, and he was talking about his editing and his production and all that, and he showed, like, I won't say his name, but he actually showed his entire script that he writes for his videos. Wow. So it's not ad lib at all. It's he sits there and which is great. He's very successful, and it makes a very, very polished product, which, when I'm doing like a list of things I've sold and all that, I'll write at them all that so I can read them. But his was word for word a script of what he read, and it's like, yes, it's good that you're getting to that level, but then you start to lose that authenticity.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like I used to edit out. I do videos and then I edit out, like, because I'm terrible for not saying the right word or trying to think of something, and I would edit all of that bit out, But then that's me. If I was having a conversation,
Heidi does it too, and it's hilarious because you can tell each little cut because it just cuts away for that second and all that. So like hers are so authentic. It's literally like, have you seen the movie Joker?
Yeah.
How you feel like you're almost in his mind, the way they film it, the way they show it. Her videos are almost like that. Like you talk about authentic and all that. You feel like you've crawled around inside her brain for 20 minutes. Like she's very authentic. She's very real. Like she's the first to admit that she's learning this, and like she'll watch a video and people will buy really good cookware and they'll sell for a fortune. So then she'll go to the op shop and she'll buy like 10 frying pans that are worth next to nothing. But that's what she does. She's trying to learn, and she's buying her education.
Like that's kind of the best way to learn, isn't it? Because you'll know next time. But it's you know, rather than watching other people and trying to learn that way, sort of just getting out there and learning.
There's a video game one that I watch called Chase After the Right Price, and he's one of the ones that, in terms of editing and look and all that, him and there's a guy called Retro Rick, they're ones that their video styles I absolutely love, and I'd like to emulate them eventually. But Chase always says, buying my education. So like he bought a lot of like 50 knives, like little butterfly knives and flick knives and all that for like $100 or something. And he said, I know nothing about knives and all that, buying my education. So, and then I watched a video where he was teaching a little bit about selling, like he was being interviewed by another reseller. And he said, just learn enough in a lot of different areas to get the low-hanging fruit, to know, okay, here's a whole bunch of, I'm trying to think of an example. What's a good example? Say, looking around me and all that, saying like, I got Hello Kitties all here, my wife's Hello Kitty collection.
Yeah.
Of knowing if it's like an original one from when she first came out. So each and every selling area you can think of, like for people who don't know video games, of knowing, you know, certain, like at least knowing, okay, well, I found Mario games, of knowing, you know, the low hanging fruit, the stuff that is the big labels in those brands. Or like my wife is a chef, so I know La Crochette or whatever it is. So if I ever see cookware and it's that brand, I know that they're worth a fortune. So a lot of people there, and that's what he talks about, is the low-hanging fruit of at least knowing enough about each department, each area, that if you find a really good bargain, you can jump on it.
Yeah, and also
don't learn enough, it can be dangerous.
Trust your instinct as well. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think take a risk.
Yeah, that's it. You find a box of, like I think the other day it was some makeup tutorial DVDs or something that I found that was cheap enough price and all that. It's like, well, yep, I'll learn about this. I'll see, you know. And I know so many male resellers that they'll go to a garage sale or a yard sale, as they call it in America, and they'll find, you know, like someone who used to have a cosmetics business or whatever, or even Lonnie buying all those makeup that he bought. Like they know nothing at all about it, but it's like, okay, well, they've got like 500 pieces here for $50. I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
Or even, I think Lonnie at one stage, he bought like the crafting, the stamps. They were called Stamp It Up stamps. And someone was selling a whole pile of those. So we thought, okay, well, I'll buy them and I'll see how they sell. So it's, buying your education. Like, never be afraid to do that, to just buy a category if it's cheap enough and learn. If you break even, you learn not to buy it again.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm going to head off anyway. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone just check out my videos. Like it's, I just would like a few more people following along and all that, because it sort of inspires you to make more when you see people actually enjoying them and all that, and wants you to it makes you put more effort into it when you've got a little bit of an audience. I don't need millions. I just need dozens.
Well, Ian dropped your link in it, and I'm gonna pop over and join as well. And I need to see Jeremy, even though he dissed us earlier. Say nah.
Oh yeah, he is very rude. I have words with him later. He can get his slot bucket last today. That'll be his punishment. Okay.
No worries.
See you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And then there was me. And my grey hairs. Okay, I think I'm gonna go anyway. It's time is it? 5 to 1. Oh, my back's hurting. But yeah, Well, that was interesting. That was nice to meet him and everything. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go, and I will catch you all later. I don't know when, but I will at some point. So be good, take care, and yeah, bye bye.